Good evening and welcome to the Simply Race Touring Car Championship here live from Simply Race in Milton Keynes. We are currently on the final practice session for tonight's races. 8 drivers go around at the moment. We've got Dave Williams, who's on his way stuck in traffic. We've already had 18 other drivers who've done some laps already. This group, Will Murphy, Will Murphy's on the top, but Milton has just popped to the top of the inwards. Will Murphy in second, all day in third, Adam Cater in sixth, Chris Hardwick in seventh, and Grant Lyman in 8th place. That's just after 4 minutes of running. It's only a 10-minute practice session before we start this evening's races. However, if we just quickly look through the practice times so far, Jack Ashton is currently the fastest driver with a 46.950 in the last group. Bradley Philpott was second fastest, just 402nd behind, 46.997. Those are the only two drivers to come with a 47 second barrier. Other drivers looking quite quick so far with Ivan Lewis Manley. Carl Chance been very quick as well. Callum Cripps very fast in practice just now, but also even quicker when he had a little sneaky practice session just before the start of the race. Nathan Burton in a very high 6th position so far. Circuit now with 47.4, so we can expect him to kind of pop up the order a bit. So we'll keep an eye on that as Will Murphy moves a little bit closer to the these guys have just got 5 minutes before we go into the first race. So just to clarify the format for this evening, all the drivers have been seeded. So based on the current championship standings from round 1, all of the drivers kind of get split up. So we should have the top 3 drivers in separate groups, and it goes on down the rest of the championship table. So equal strength groups. Anyone who isn't seeded gets thrown in any random group is responsible for spaces. In those groups, you get 12 points for winning a race, and it goes down to 1 point level. Decreases by 1 point for every position below that. The number of points that you get will decide where you start in the finals. There are 3 finals: a C final, a B final, and an A final. 36 points available for the winner of the A final, and that will go down 1 point. Decreases by 1 point for every place on that. That goes all the way down to the last race in the C final. Winner of each lower final, so the C final and B final, will go through into the higher race. So the winner of the C final will go to the back of the grid for the B race, and the winner of the B final will go into the back of the A race. I want to say hello to everyone who's watching the stream this evening. Of course, we have got Radek and Virus, of course. Turn down the game audio. I will do that for you, that's no problem. Bear with me 1 second. I know how much you guys want to hear my beautiful tones. Of course, we have Anthony Jordan doing our camera work for this evening. You'll also be joined commentators Darren Kirk and Mark Winwood, who are currently practicing in this session, so they will be available when the races start going. We've got them in the same group tonight, so that will mean that they're able to talk together. It's more interesting to have 2 people. Obviously, we'll start with me for the time being. Just got, let me just double check how long is left in this session. Just 2 minutes left on this practice. It doesn't look like David Williams is going to turn up in time to get any practice laps in, so he'll go straight into race 1 without any practice. But this group is quite close, and you can expect some good things with this group of good racing. Lee Connell in first still, Will Murphy just 200ths behind, Adam Cater just a 10th and a half behind Lee, a quarter second back was Darren Kirk, just over a quarter second back is Paul Day, and another quarter second is Mark Woodman. So top 6 within half a second, so it should make for interesting racing. Will Berkeley has got top of the leaderboard at the moment. We haven't actually said anything about the circuit today. We are, of course, racing the wonderful Brands Hatch Indy circuit. The just 1.2 miles Indy. So 46 seconds is the best that we've had so far. 9. So a very short circuit in comparison to the opening round, which was now 1 minute 30 from out there. So it should be hopefully more action packed. The first round of the season was very busy, but I expect that we will see even more close racing as the top 3 are just separated by 600ths of a second. Darren Kirk moving in closer to both Will and Lee. So top 6 now separated by just 0.335 between the top 6 drivers in this group. So that means overall, so the leader of this group, Will, is 6th overall in the standings. And we should expect to see him be a little bit higher up based on performance in Osnabrück. We'll see, of course, it's all about racecraft, no qualifying involved anymore. All about racecraft, all about where you finish. So we have 2 races that I mentioned, but I didn't mention that actually what is going to happen is that it will be a reverse starting grid. So where the drivers start in their first race, they will start the opposite way around. So from pole for the first race will be last for the second. We'll say hello to Dean Prescott. Hello Dean from Friction. Dean, who has designed these wonderful liveries for the cars. So thank you very much, Dean. They look wonderful. So these guys are just finishing. If you give us 20 seconds, we will I will grab the better commentators and we'll get you guys enjoying race number 1.
Hello and welcome to the first race of the evening from the Simply Race Touring Car Championship with me, Darren Kirk, and Mark Winwood.
Hello. So yeah, we're here at Brands Hatch. We're using the Indy circuit tonight. And from what we've seen in practice so far, it looks like the times are going to be really tight. So I'm looking forward to some really close racing.
Yeah, instantly one of the guys in this race that was very quick out the box, Bradley Philpott, regular here at Simply Race, and obviously a favourite for the championship. He was very, very quick, the quickest, which was actually the gentleman in practice 2, which was Jack Ashman. So it will be interesting to see how this race. But just to quickly run down who we've got in this race, we've got Dane Oliver in pole position, Carl Chapman second, Andrew Ashman third, Cameron fourth, Steve Cross fifth, Josh Brown seventh, Bradley Philpott seventh, Bruce Ford eighth, Lewis Manley ninth, and we are off.
Great start at the back there by Lewis Manley. Got a really good jump.
Oh.
And that looks like contact between Dan Ryan's in there and...
So I think what we can do, we can see Dan Ryan's in that, Steve Boyce was involved.
Yeah.
And I believe also Andrew Ashton.
And Lewis Manley has made a great start. He's up to 3rd place already because he's avoided all the carnage.
Dane Oliver though is still in the lead, I think, in his pole position. Carl Chard, very close behind him in second, Lewis Manley in third, Josh Belmel, Brad Philpott. So we'll just wait till these chaps come around on their first lap and we'll go to the camera.
Carl Chard looks like he's going up the inside here of Dane Oliver. He's got a good run down the main straight.
If he can hold that position, I think he has got this nicely up the inside. Let's just check he can keep it. Breaks late, this inside, he keeps off that inside curve and through to the lead. But he is going to be vulnerable. He moves across up to Druids. I think that's a nice bit of defensive driving there.
Yeah, good driving by Carl Chard. Real clean pass and then really good defending from Dane Oliver.
Just on board with Dane Oliver now, so you can see how close these cars can get to. So many guys here on the pace today.
Yeah, I mean we've seen Jack Ashton's on a 46.977, which is only 200ths faster than Bradley Philpott. So that's the difference between these drivers. It's just hundredths on this short lap.
So we've got Dane Oliver here, queued right up behind Carl Chard. Is he going to be able to repeat? A little bit of a lunge there, but he brakes and avoids the back of the car. I think he's going to have more luck if he can try and get a decent dive into Druids.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky circuit to overtake on. There's a few sort of places, probably into Paddock Hill is one of the main ones, the first corner.
Actually, just looking back slightly, he is up to 4th place now, so he is behind Lewis Manley, who is in 3rd.
Yeah, it looks like Josh Banwell lost the car there, I think. We just missed that going out of shot. But he was in 5th. Bradley Philpott here on board with now in 4th place. Lewis Manley in front of us in 3rd, and then you can see Dane Oliver and Carl Chard just in front of them. So this race is bunching up a bit, I think.
As you say, it is a quite tricky track to overtake, and you can see quite a lot of trains and cars, but it's hard to find an extra 10 to get onto the back of the car, so you can have a run through Paddock Hill and into Druids.
Yeah, nice thing about the circuit though is you can kind of get a real rhythm because the lap's so short. You can sort of you can really get into the zone and just work your way up to the back of the car in front, a little bit every corner.
So we've got a 12-lap race here. They are on lap 3. Bradley is looking very racy there. He's catching up onto the back of Lewis Manley. Lewis looked like he ran ever so slightly wide going onto the grass, and he's going to be settled up for Bradley Field after this next corner. Look at Brad. He's positioning his car. He's racing.
They're both catching Dane Oliver as well, so Lewis needs to. I think if Lewis can maybe get past Dane Oliver, that might be his best chance of defending from Bradley Philpott.
Lewis is having a look. He's a little bit far back that time, but what has done is, look, Brad has caught right up on the back. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brad try and go around the outside of Druids.
That's ambitious.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact. They're still side by side.
I think he's got him because Lewis should have run him out there and he didn't. He left a bit of a gap. He was quite polite and that's allowed Philpott through.
Yes, nicely done by Bradley Philpott. Lewis is going to sit right at the back of him now and look to see if he can repeat that back to Brad in the next lap.
He might be thinking that if he can follow Philpott, it'll drag him up to the front turn. Because around the circuit, if you can tag onto the back of another slightly faster car, it sometimes drag you around.
So we've got the top 4 here within 3 seconds of each other. And then there's a bit of a gap back to Reece Foreman, who's 8 seconds off the lead, and Steve Boyce 11 seconds off. So
I think they were victims of the first lap accidents, so that's probably dropped them off the front group.
it is a bit of a tricky track to catch back up on. If you get clean air, I think you can do it, but if you've got to go through traffic, you can end up wasting quite a lot of time, and obviously having an accident in the first corner could prove detrimental.
Yeah, definitely. So you've just got to stay clean. These front guys, they were the main guys who got through that first lap without getting involved in the incidents. And, yeah, that's definitely a big advantage on this track.
I think we can see Bradley is pulling away from Lewis, who's dropped off the back. So Brad is within 2 seconds of the lead. Carl's done a good job. Started to extend it slightly, whereas Brad is really laying over. Whether or not Brad can do two people in...
Well, I think Carl Chard is pulling away. He hasn't made any mistakes so far, and I'd say as long as he can keep his rhythm, not making any mistakes, he's got a good chance of winning this race. But Bradley is right on the back of Dane Oliver now, so this is the main fight.
Brad looking at positioning his car slightly to the side best run out the corners.
Yeah, clearaways is a tricky corner because there's sort of so many lines to it you can take. So he'll probably just be experimenting with different approaches to see how he can get the best run out the corner.
It's not like Dane can't see that red car in his mirrors though, is it? I'm not sure if he'll know it's Brad in the car, but...
Red for danger. And he's run a little bit wide at Druids, maybe just looking in his mirrors, like you say, just trying to make sure he puts his car in the right defensive position to stop Bradley Philpott from getting his nose up inside.
He's creeping onto the back, but it's all about the drive out the corner. It looks like Brad does have a very good drive this time. He is right behind Dane Oliver.
Great drive, yeah. I think Dane Oliver must go. He's got to go defensive here, otherwise I think Bradley will have a go up the inside.
I think he's left it a little bit too late. Brad's just going to sneak through. It's a little bit of contact, but just door to door, not being nothing too.
Yeah, Philpott really he outbraked Dane Oliver there, and nice clean pass in the end.
Dane was very fair though. He obviously did position his car to give Brad as little space as possible, but he did leave him over a car's width.
I think he could have been more defensive. He could have been more aggressively defending that inside.
Earlier on, I think he should have moved
yeah.
a little bit. But let's see what Brad can do. His fastest lap so far is a 47.050, which is only about 10 slower than his overall quickest.
Yeah, so he's 1.5 seconds behind Carl Chard. So with 3 laps to go, I think that's a tough ask to catch Carl with only 3 laps, but we'll see.
And Dane is not just falling off the back of Brad either. It's like he's starting to
Bradley's
keep in pace with him.
Bradley's sort of towing him round a bit. You can do that on this track.
So a little bit further back, we have Josh Banwell in 8th and Andrew Ashton in 9th, Dan Ryan in 7th, Steve Boyce in 6th, Reece Foreman, and we've got Lewis Manley, and then these top 3 here that I think we're going to concentrate on for the last bit of this lap. It's going to be very interesting to see. You see Dane just caught his wheel a little bit on the grass there, which is unsettled him. It just allows Brad to pull away about 10th per second. Brad only 1 point, about a second behind Carl now.
So he's catching him at about half a second a lap. So by my calculations, he'll be right on him on the last lap coming down that straight.
Let's see, it looks like Brad's quickest lap is about 3/10 quicker than Carl's. So Dane's keeping it tidy behind Brad.
Yeah, he might be hoping if Bradley has a go at Carl Chard, maybe he'll be able to pick up the pieces if they come together.
A little bit of contact or they run wide a little bit. What we got? We've got Dan Ryan and Josh Banwell having a bit of a battle here. No, they look further apart. Sorry, this is Josh Banwell and Andrew Ashton. So Josh in the front blue and white car, and Andrew in the blue, gold and white car just behind. Obviously, no one wants to come last.
Nobody wants the wooden spoon.
It's good to see they're still out there racing. From that first corner, did punish them quite severely with the contact.
So we're on the last lap now, so good to see what's happening up the front.
It looks like Brad's only 6/10 of a second. Oh, we've just banned away.
So this is Bradley on board with Bradley Philpott chasing Carl Chard. The gap is down to a bit under a second at the moment. In fact, now it's down to 3/10. He's right on the back of Carl Chard now, but I think he's not going to be close enough, so I can't see him passing him before the line.
If you look at Brad's car as well, I think we're going to see a lot of light flashing coming down this straight. Brad's going to try everything that he has learned. It's over. Sorry, I've just got Mark here. So engrossed in the race, I wasn't paying attention. So that is the end of the first race, with Carl Chard winning, Bradley Philpott in 2nd, Dane Oliver 3rd, Lewis Manley in 4th, Steve Boyce in 5th, Reece Foreman in 6th, Dan Ryan 7th, Andrew Ashton looks like he's going to come home in 8th, and Josh Banwell bringing up the rear in 9th. So, whilst we just get these cars to the finish, looking around, we've got all the next drivers all queued up behind their pod, waiting to get in. So let's see if we can, after the end, if we can grab Carl and have a word with him, see how he felt, and maybe even Brad, if we've got time. Let's have a quick look and see who we can find. So I can see Mark has found Carl. So I'm just going to pass over to Mark. He's going to have a quick chat with Carl.
Yeah, so I've got Carl Chard, our winner of race 1, with me. So it looked like you managed to avoid the carnage at the start, Carl, and then a fairly comfortable win once you got into lead.
Yeah, well, luckily I started in second position, and then got into first place as quick as I could. Then I had the shakes, and I couldn't. I don't know why. I started blinking as well, blinking too much, and then I was giving away 0.2 point every sector.
Yeah, we could see that Bradley Philpott was catching you a little bit towards the end, but it looked like you were able to just hold the gap so that you never got quite close enough to overtake on the last lap.
Was that Bradley? I didn't know that was Bradley. That's good. Okay, cool. I'm confident now.
Yeah, well driven. It was a good result, and best luck for the next few races.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Carl. Now, I believe we have our next set of drivers all in their seats, and we're coming up with race 2. So, on pole position for this race will be Alistair Indy, Jordan Thornton in second, Nathan Burton in third, Chris Law in fourth, Jack Ashton in fifth, Shamak Glodek in sixth, Tony Connell in seventh, Colin Talbot in eighth, and Callum Cripps in ninth place. So they're just on their 30-second countdown, and again they'll be rushing into Paddock Hill Bend. Hopefully these guys can get around turn 1 with less cars in the gravel.
Yeah, it's a tricky first couple of corners here. It's very easy to, on cold tyres, slide the car too much and make contact with someone else. So we'll be looking for a clean start here, hopefully.
Red lights are on. I think that's a jump start from Bob number 4. That is Chris Law. He has stopped though, so we'll have to see, but he's instantly lost a couple of positions.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of momentum. He's made a bad start. Someone's in the pit wall.
What's that? Well, that's number 9. There's Callum Cripps and Colin Talbot both into the wall, but they are... Is that 4 wide going into Druids? This is not going to end well.
We're hearing there was no penalty for Chris Law on that jump start. Although he moved, he didn't cross the line.
So we've got a few cars spinning there. More carnage in the background. So they managed to finally get around turn 1 and crash into turn 2. So we'll just let this settle out. Jack Ashton has taken the lead.
Dream scenario for Jack Ashton. I mean, he was really quick in practice anyway, and he started 5th and he's already in the lead.
Yeah. We're just looking here from Nathan Burton's car with Jordan Thornton in the lime green car in front. We'll jump back now to 5th place.
Now we're on board with Callum Cripps in 4th, just behind Nathan Burton, and you can see the bright green car in front of him is Jordan Thornton, and in the distance Jack Ashton in the black, white and orange car.
As you can see on that, very close there, a little bit knocking, but I don't think they were going to get away with that. As you can see, to that the inside curve in turn 1, if you hit that, you are going to end up on 2 wheels and probably roll over. So you don't want to get squeezed on the inside through Paddock Hill.
Callum Cripps was so late on the brakes into Druids. That was amazing how he closed up on Nathan Burton. And again, really late on the brake. In fact, he's gone straight up the inside. What a great move that is from a long way back.
I think he had that planned from the previous lap. He knew where he was going to do that.
He executed that perfectly, and so now into 3rd place, and he looks like he's got some real speed, Callum Cripps, so he could be a man to watch.
I think, yeah, looks like he's instantly 2 wheels.
It's cost him a lot of time. He's lost momentum, but he's gone defensive, so he's holding it as long as he can hold tight line. He's a bit wide, but he should have the inside for the next left-hander at Graham Hill Bend.
So looking a little bit further back, we've got Colin Talbot in 5th place, Alistair Indy in 6th, Chris Law in 7th, Tony Connell in 8th, and Shamlak Glodek in 9th. And, he looks quite a way off the pace, so I don't know if we're going to see these leaders looking to over. Yep, they've just lapped Shamak, so obviously that incident at the start has really cost him.
Yeah, with a sort of 47, 48 second lap, if you have a serious incident, you're going to be lapped fairly easily on this circuit. So now here we're watching, that is Tony Connell, is it, in the black and red car?
Yes, Chris Law and Tony Connell. Tony's in the red car, Chris Law's in that yellow car just in front.
So of course Chris Law jumped he looked like he jumped the start, but we were told from race control that although he moved, he didn't actually break the timing beam. So he won't be receiving a penalty for that. It did cost him anyway. He got a terrible start after that.
Oh, Oh, Tony's looking aggressive here. He's trying to line the car up the inside. That was a little bit ambitious. He drifted wide a little bit on the over.
He looked a bit out of control to me there, Tony Connell. Really, he went for a very ambitious move at the inside and was carrying so much speed. I don't know whether he'd have made the corner.
I think we're going to get a replay here of how this looked. It did look like Tony just came across the front of his car.
Yeah, so he comes down the inside. He braked very, very late. He's all over the curb.
Bounced
on the curb.
He's just come across the front of Chris Law's car. So I think
I don't know what Chris Law could have done there, because he couldn't disappear, could he? He was. So at the front, Nathan Burton is running the second place. We're on board with him now. Looks like he's lost sight of Jack Ashton. Jack Ashton has gone. And he's just in front of Callum Cripps, who's...
It's like the best battle on track at the moment is between Jordan Thornton and Colin Talbot, just as we pan to that. And yeah, that is Alistair Denby right behind in the blue car.
That's Tony Connell being lapped there in the black and red car, just getting out of the way. So this is Colin Talbot in the red, white and black car.
I think that was Tony having a little spin there in the background. His distinctive red car.
He was trying to be polite. He was trying to get out of the way, but I think he got on the wrong line there.
Yeah, so it looks like Jack has disappeared at the front. So I'm kind of guessing, unless we see a mistake by Jack, he might have this home and dry with 6 laps still to go.
I mean, to get this lead of nearly 7 seconds on this lap is pretty impressive. So I don't know whether maybe Nathan Burton made a mistake somewhere, or that's just the raw pace that Jack Ashton has got around this short Indy circuit. So it looks like here we've got Colin Talbot, who's, I think he's closing up on the back of Jordan Thornton slowly, and there's 6 laps to go, so still plenty of time for him to get up and maybe try and make a move on Jordan Thornton.
He's looking clean and tidy. So hopefully we won't give him the commentator's curse, but he is going round nicely. He's a little bit slower on his overall fastest lap compared to Jordan, but he does seem to be sat there quite comfortably behind him, pushing him. But we're back with Jack now, who is completely on his own.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to watch out for lap traffic, I suppose, now. I
guess, yeah, that's Chris Law. That's 7th place in front of him, so he keeps it clean and just makes sure he doesn't do anything silly.
I mean, Chris Law will be getting a blue flag here on his screen, so he will know he's being lapped. Just a question of how much attention he pays to what's going on around him in the middle of a race.
There you go. He's given him the inside there through clearways. Yeah, clearways. Yeah, nicely done by Chris Law. Yeah, pretty aware, and just drops him behind Jack Ashton. And I guess he'll just try and latch onto the back of him, see if he can learn a few different lines, see if he can help improve his own lap time. Yeah, especially all of these chaps will have another race against each other before they get split into the groups for the finals. So it's all about trying to pick up as many points in these first 2 races as you can. So
yeah, and just learning all the time, trying to learn off other drivers, see where you can improve your lap time for the races later on this evening. Nathan Burton here running in 2nd place, so he's still there, fairly comfortable on his own really. He's just under 9 seconds behind Jack Ashton, and he's got a good comfortable cushion over Callum Cripps. So it's almost like the drivers in this race have settled for the top 3, have kind of thought, yep, top 3 position in the first race of the night is pretty good, we'll take that.
Yeah. Interestingly, Jordan Thornton has dropped to 6th place, and Colin Talbot is now in 4th, and Alistair Denby in 5th. So I think we missed something off camera there.
Yeah, he must have made a mistake somewhere, and Colin Talbot's driving pretty well. He's not making any mistakes. He's very consistent, and he's worked his way through to 4th place without being having the ultimate lap time compared to some other drivers. It's
especially because he was caught in that first, well, it's before the first corner of the accident, and he did start in 8th place, so he has definitely made some good progress in this race. I think he'll be pleased with himself at the end of it. So we're on lap 9 now out of 12.
And here we're watching Callum Cripps in 3rd, just in front of Colin Talbot.
So Jack starts his 10th lap. He's 10.5 seconds ahead now. He is... well, it's weird. You can see Nathan catching by him on a couple of tenths. I think they are sort of trading times, but Jack overall, over the entire lap, is 1 or 2 tenths quicker.
Yeah, he's got an amazing amount of pace for such a short lap. He seems to be pulling out almost a second a lap, I would say.
One of the main things with these cars as well is tyre wear is not on, but you still have to think about the heat management of the tyres. So if you are consistently going round heating the tyres, there's a big crash there.
Was that Jordan Thornton who's... No, I think that was Alistair Dendy in the B-Box Motorsport car, running wide up onto the gravel at Paddock Hill, and now he's got Jordan Thornton trying to go around the outside at Graham Hill, and contact, and they both spun, so that has not worked out very well. I think Jordan Thornton, he was well in front of Dendy at that point, but Dendy just caught the rear of Thornton's car, and they both went.
Yeah, they're just a little bit of contact before they started to turn in, I think. He's turned into the apex.
Yeah, he's coming around the outside, which is unusual at that part of the track.
We can see race control are looking at this, and they will ultimately make the decision.
Yeah, it's one of those where
2 cars into 1 isn't going to make it.
Yeah, the guy on the inside he can't disappear. He's there. He's braking as hard as he can. He's trying to take the apex, he didn't run wide.
The race has finished whilst we were watching that, and I'm guessing that it was Jack Ashton that won.
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, 46.999 was his quickest lap, so a little bit slower than he went in practice, but still incredibly quick. Then we have Nathan Burton finished in 2nd place.
Callum Cripps was 3rd, and 4th place Colin Talbot, who a very good, steady, consistent drive.
Jordan Thornton in 5th place, with Alistair Dendy in 6th, Chris Law crossing the line in 7th. And then we've got the last 2 cars of, I think it's Shamak Glodek, and then Tony Connell, I believe. Yes, that is right. Now we are going to pass over to our secondary commentating team, whilst both myself and Mark are going to take part in this next race. So now that we've watched everybody else, I guess we'll have to make sure we don't crash into turn 1.
Here comes the carnage.
So right, we are going to pass you over to Ben, who's going to commentate on this next race for us. We will be back in the commentary box after this race.
Okay, so big thank you to both Mark and Darren for commentating there whilst they were in between their races. We are just setting up now for race number 3, which is the 3rd group. They're the last of the first races, if that makes sense. We're just getting the last 2 drivers sat down now. Bear with us for just 15 seconds. Okay then. So we are on the grid. We have just updated the overlay as well, so you can see what's going on. And underway for race number 3 then. Good start from was that I think it's the number 7 car on the inside. Oh. Okay, so very clean through Paddock Hill so far. A little bit of door rubbing, but that's absolutely fine in touring cars. Going into Druids then. Will we stay clean? Yes. Amazingly, I think this is the cleanest race we've had so far.
By far the cleanest race we've had so far.
Into Graham Hill then, up the inside is Paul Day in the red car, the red and blue car. So up the front then, Dave Williams, who hasn't actually done any practice, leading. All 4 cars very, very close around Surtees, into Clearway, sorry. So that means Chris Hardwick is now leading, 3 abreast into Paddock Hill Bend. This could go wrong. So Oh, lots of space being given. Oh no, just slightly wide there for Chris Hardwick. That's it's horrible when you get into the gravel. It just drags you back. So that's put Chris Hardwick, unfortunately, all the way back into 9th place. But I think he is back on the circuit now. So Lee Connell in the lead. David Williams second. Mark Winwood in the red car in third. Will Murphin in fourth. Paul Day in fifth. As the drivers come across to complete their second lap, Dave Williams is half a second behind the race leader. So nice, clear, different coloured cars we've got provided by Dean. So thank you again, Dean. We've got the lime green car of David Williams in second. Now David obviously hasn't done any practice, just this evening anyway, and just jumping straight into the race, starting from second, and is currently running second as well. After briefly running in first for a little bit of the first lap. It's a little bit further back. This is the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. Darren Kirk in the Friction racing car. The car we're on board with now, that's the Force India colour car in front of Adam Cater. And who's that in front? Oh, Adam Cater gets sideways, very, very sideways. Did he spin? Not sure. He didn't spin, no, he managed to keep it going, but it was very, very, very sideways for a moment there for Daisy. So got the scores coming in from Radtech, 8 out of 8 for no carnage. So yeah, there you go. Well done, thank you for scoring the amount of carnage on the first lap. I'm sure we will return back to it in race number 4. So Darren putting a lot of pressure then on Paul Day. These guys currently about 4 seconds behind 4th place, Will Murphin. There's actually a really close battle between Mark Winwood and Will Murphin that we should be keeping an eye on as well. And hopefully we might just switch to that in a second. Okay, so this is battle. Oh, and up the inside. Okay, great move from Will Murphin, and very cleanly done. And both drivers actually managed to get out the other end. And yeah, very, very nice move from Will Murphin, who returns to the SRTCC. Missed round 1, unfortunately, being away in Japan. Back and on the pace here in 3rd place. Lee Connell's getting away a bit at front. To 3rd place in the championship at the moment. He is the favourite in the group at the moment anyway. David Williams is 2.3 seconds behind. Will Murphin is now currently second behind that green car of David Williams. So we'll keep an eye on that developing battle. Meanwhile, just looking at the timing, Paul Day is still ahead of Darren Curtis, just a second between those guys. And a further 2 seconds back is Adam Cater. Almost halfway through this race now. Coming down the hill towards Graham Hill. And it looks like he's probably slightly closing is Will Murphin. He's closing a little bit on David Williams. It's not surprising really, considering David's just jumping straight into the race this evening. Just see if we can get some lap times from the last time round. Okay, in that case I lied. So actually David is faster than Lee and Will on that last lap. So I thought it was closing, obviously not. So actually, if anything, actually it's getting a bit closer between Lee and David. I don't know whether Lee made a small mistake on the last lap. So Lee is 1.1 seconds ahead of David. He's still closing. It's getting down. You can see the tower on the left-hand side. That's now under a second. Maybe Lee going a little bit too cautious whilst cruising around in the lead. Now he's back under pressure. So a shout out to the BPRL, but I don't know what BPRL always stands for, Reese Foreman and Carl Shard, but yeah, lovely to have those guys here. Maybe you'll want to come here as well, ZR4C3RZ. Want what that stands for. Anyway, looking back at the racing, 8 tenths of a second there between Lee Connell and David Williams. David's all of a sudden found lots of pace, and Lee has dropped off it somewhat. His last lap was a 47.924, so half a second loss on that last lap. Really starting to feel the pressure then. And, bit of a sideways moment for David Williams. You can see sort of get that oversteer moment, even though we're pointing over the front of the car. But it's only lost him a couple of tenths, so he'll set up to go again with 4 laps remaining. Oh, really wide from David. He held that. It's so hard when you're on the gravel to really keep hold of that, but he did really, really well to kind of make sure that he didn't lose it at that point. So very, very well done from David, but it has lost him about 8 tenths of a second. It's 1.4, 1.5 seconds between Lee Connell and David now, and a second between David and Will Murphy. So it'd be interesting to see whether it stays this way. And on looking back as well, Mark Winwood suddenly lost a bit of time. Is now under pressure from Paul Day. That's for 4th and 5th place. Let's see if we can maybe switch to that battle. Oh, and that's David Williams. Oh, beautiful 360, and actually remains in 3rd place. So Paddock Hill is not David Williams' friend. However, fantastic car control to bring that round and get it pointing in. Get it pointing in the right direction. Okay, so it's Z Racers. Okay, yeah, I can see that now that you said that. That's Z Racers. Yes. David Williams still in 3rd. Mark Winwood under pressure from Paul Day. Is this a replay? So I think we've got the replay coming up now of... oh no, we haven't. Nope, sorry, we are live. Apologies. Maybe David will do it again. Let's see if he excites us again around turn 1. No, he's managed to keep it on the track this time. I'm sure he'll be watching that replay back. We're trying to find the spin. Is this the spin here? There we go. Beautifully around. Slow. Oh, nice bit of slow-mo. Some nice camera work there from Anthony. And carrying on well. Beautiful driving from David Williams. I'm sure he preferred not to spin, but if you're going to do it in style. 2 laps to go. Lee Connell leading by 3.7 seconds ahead of Will Murphy. David Williams in 3rd. Mark Winwood in 4th, who seems to have regained a bit of pace. He's still got Paul Day just under a second behind him. Darren Kirk in 6th. Adam Cater in 7th, returning again to the SRTCC. Missed the first round as well. So obviously these guys return after missing the first round. And I'm sure that other commitments that they were unable to avoid. He's in 7th place. Chris Hardwick in 8th. After that spin and a great opening lap with a spin on lap 2 for Chris Hardwick and Grant Lyman in 9th position. We're on board then with Paul Day coming into clearways. A wider line there for Paul Day. Hopefully that might, hopefully for him, that might give him a bit of a benefit down the straight. He's going to have to tuck in behind Mark Winwood. Oh, and that was the last lap. I didn't even notice. So Lee Connell has finished in 1st. Will Murphy in 2nd. David Williams in 3rd. Mark Winwood in 4th. Paul Day in 5th. Darren Kirk in 6th. 7th is Chris Hardwick. Adam Cater in 8th. And Grant Lyman in 9th position. Good racing. Fantastic car control as well. Lovely to see. And we're going to set up for race number 4. This is the second race for. It will be the second race for the first group. Lewis Manley will be on pole for the next one. Reece Foreman will start 2nd. Bradley Philpott in 3rd. Josh Banwell in 4th. Steve Boyce will start 5th. Dan Ryan will start 6th. Andrew Ashton in 7th. Carl Shard will start in 8th. And Dane Oliver in 9th.
So then, it's Darren and Mark back. for this next race. So Mark's just working out how to turn his microphone back on, but how was that, Mark?
Yeah, it was a good race. I got a great start.
I saw.
Got into the heady heights of third place for a while, and then couldn't quite run with the pace of the front guys. And I think David Williams made a pretty good move on me going into Paddock Hill Bend, real clean overtake. And then I just maintained fourth place, so it was good. Not displeased with it. Good start.
It's a very clean race, that. From what I could hear a few cheers or moments of exclamation from the thing, but there was no one really.
No, it was a really good, clean race at the front. The front four of us were quite close at the start, and at one point the front three were three abreast going into Paddock Hill on one lap.
I did see that.
And I was just hoping that there was going to be a huge crash, but I think only one person ran wide. And then later on the race, I think David Williams had a bit of a coming together with whoever finished second. I'm not sure. Anyway, there was a bit of, I think that's what the cheering was about.
With Will Murphy, so Lee Connell won that. It's interesting seeing it from this point of view, because obviously we just took part in that race. I have no idea who came where, so
yeah,
Lee first, Will.
You only have a vague idea of who you're racing with, because the pods change around quite a bit, so you don't necessarily know exactly who you are battling with, which makes it quite interesting really afterwards to find out, you know, who was in and around you in the race.
Well, I can tell you, I spent 12 laps, about 3 seconds behind you, watching your car, which was not the most interesting of all races, but a little bit too cautious perhaps in turn one, and found myself right at the back.
I think a lot of drivers were pretty cautious in the first few corners, because it is so easy to make contact with another car down Paddock Hill into Druids. But it was a really clean race from my perspective at the start. I think it was really good.
Yeah, as I said, I came out of that in last. But here we are. Looks like we are going for race 2. So this is the reverse grid of the race they did earlier, with Lewis Manley on pole, Reece Foreman second, Bradley Philpott in that red car in third, Josh Banwell fourth, Steve Boyce in fifth, Dan Ryan sixth in the yellow car, Andrew Ashton in seventh, Carl Chard in the lime green, and Dane Oliver in the blue and white car.
Yeah, so Carl Chard, a race winner from the first race this evening. It'd be interesting to see how he gets on starting in 8th place.
And the lights are off. Looks a very slow start from Mr. Philpott there.
Looks almost like he missed a gear or something.
Yeah, I think he's going to be very lucky to come out
the
of this.
The field's bunched up, they're 4 wide going into Paddock Hill.
Carl
and
Chard
it looks
on.
like, yeah, Chard is gone.
Oh, and we've got the yellow car. So we've got 2 more crashing there.
That is the dangerous starting near the back.
We just saw a car spin there for no reason whatsoever. So let's see.
So we're hearing from race control that Carl Chard looks like he was responsible for the accident at turn 1.
I think it's can start kicking off here between Brad's.
Andrew Ashton in 2nd place, Lewis Manley in 3rd. So this front 3 are really close together. So Bradley Philpott in the red and black.
That can't be Bradley. It's saying Bradley is down in 8th place. So I must have got that wrong.
Sorry, no, we're looking at Dane Oliver then in the red and black.
Apologies, it was not Brad that got a bad start. It was Dane. But it's going very well for Dane at the moment, who is in the lead. Andrew Ashton behind him and Lewis Manley in 3rd place.
And in 4th, Steve Boyce. He's not far off this front pack.
So what we need to look at though is Bradley Philpott is 13 seconds behind at the moment. He's not going to stay that far back, is he?
At the moment, Dane Oliver doing a pretty good job.
I think that's wrong. I think that the names are wrong on that. I'm just going to go and clarify that, Mark. Just bear with me a second.
Right, whilst Darren goes and clarifies exactly who's in which pod, because we're a little bit confused about which pod Bradley Philpott's in, but whoever is in the lead, whether it's Dane Oliver or Bradley Philpott, they are going well. Very close battle behind the 2nd and 3rd between Andrew Ashton and Lewis Manley, and Steve Boyce in 4th place is just behind them.
So we've just heard the names on the overlay are ever so slightly wrong. That's what's confusing us, but it is Bradley Philpott in the lead in this red car. The overlay will be updated very quickly, so basically everyone's names is the wrong way around. So we'll see what happens we come out of here. We just see a car crashing in the background there. That did look like pod 5.
So we've got updated overlay now, so this should be the correct driver names with each pod.
Okay, so Lewis Manley is actually up the road, and we're concentrating on Bradley in second place, not in the lead that we first thought.
So Bradley Philpott is in the black and red car, so we got that right.
Yep.
But he's actually now running in second place. Lewis Manley in the lead, and Dane Oliver third.
So Brad did get that slow start, so we'll apologise to Dane.
Dane Oliver would never make a mistake like that.
No, Brad would, of course.
I wouldn't like to say.
So I can tell you what, Brad is taking about a second out of Lewis Manley on this lap, it looks of it. So Brad is going to be right on the back of Lewis.
Well, he's got 2.5 seconds, and what I found in my race, it was amazing how I thought I got a bit of a cushion at 2 seconds, and all of a sudden I hadn't.
I'll tell you what, 2 seconds is not far on this track. You can't have been more than about 100 metres in front of me, and there was another car in the way, and you're about 2.5, 3 seconds. So
yeah,
when you are in the cockpit and you're looking ahead, seeing, oh, it's only 3 seconds, it's actually really difficult to close up that final. Yeah.
So here we're looking at Steve Boyce in 4th place. He's just behind Dane Oliver.
He's looking racy in that orange, black and purple car. See whether he can sneak it up the inside through this corner.
He's really shadowing Dane Oliver. He's taking exactly the same line through clearways, and he's got quite a good run out. He might be looking for a move into Paddock Hill Bend.
He's going to have to go around the outside, isn't he?
Dane's gone defensive.
Squeezes him out, just parks it nicely. But he has lost a little bit of speed. There is
tremendous run by Steve Boyce. He got a phenomenal run through Paddock Hill, but he just ran straight into the back. Looks like he sort of nudged Dane Oliver out of the way.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Steve Boyce getting a little bit of a telling off for that. He did run into the back. Well, obviously you've got proper race control stewards here who do make all the decisions. We only see it once normally. Here's a replay again. He just runs into the back. These cars are so light on the rear end.
I don't know. Either Steve Boyce got such a phenomenal run into Paddock Hill Bend, or Dane Oliver was maybe a bit slow, but the speed difference there was amazing.
Here we go, nice overhead shot.
Just a nap, just the merest tap, but just a little nudge. That's all it takes.
So, let's see where Bradley is in comparison to Lewis Manley. They have got a lot closer, haven't they?
Yeah, he's closing in. His best lap of the race, Bradley, is a 47.0, which is 2 tenths quicker than Lewis Manley's best lap. So if he's closing in at about maybe 2 or 3 tenths a lap, he's certainly going to catch him with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, he's only 8 tenths behind now, and he looks like he is flying out there.
It'd be interesting to see what Lewis Manley does here, how defensive he goes, how early, because he'll probably know it's Bradley Philpott behind him.
It's a definite knack of driving this track and being able to park your car.
Lewis has gone very wide at Druids, and that's really allowed Bradley Philpott to close it right, but he's flashing his headlights.
Yeah. Just heard there is a stop-go penalty for Steve Boyce for that contact, so he will have to come into the pits, and that's going to ruin his race. I can't see him coming out anywhere else than last. But yeah, let's concentrate on Brad and Lewis Manley here.
Bradley's trying to go into the outside. He's taking a wide line out of clearways down to the start-finish straight up to Paddock Hill Bend. Not quite close enough, I wouldn't say.
He is captain though. He has got a run.
Lewis is going quite defensive, which is fair enough. And this is where you've got to defend up here into Druids. You mustn't let a car come at you inside here.
Both of these guys, not only does Brad race in real life, they are very talented sim racers. That was
It almost looked like Lewis Manley got out of his way there.
I don't know, but Lewis is coming back. They are going to be side by side. A little bit of squeeze in there.
Lewis has got back through. What a great move. And he's held a tight line through clearways as well. Brilliant driving by Lewis Manley.
Yeah, Brad's got another run though. So we'll just keep an eye on this.
Same again, do you think? Same thing again? He's going to try and maybe wide line into Paddock Hill, get a good drive down the hill, and then try and get him into...
he's going to have to get up the inside, and look, Lewis knows. Lewis is just parking his car just.
But Lewis runs a bit wide, I think, coming out of here some laps. I've seen it earlier in the race. Better this time, pretty tidy, and I don't think Philpott's close enough.
Bradley's traction out of Druids though is fantastic, and then you see him flashing his lights again. It's putting the pressure on Lewis. These two have been racing both here at Simply Race and also on the kart track together, so
they know how each other. They know what to expect from the other, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'm pretty certain.
Super defensive from Lewis Manley. Look, he's on the white line on the right hand side into paddock now. Bradley's trying to go around the outside. It's a good try, but no, not quite. And again, the defensive line from Lewis Manley up into Druids.
Around the outside. Around the outside. I don't know if you can get the cut back here. Oh, Brad has a little bit of a wobble. But it's just given Lewis that little bit of breathing space.
I think Bradley Philpott is just trying to take different lines just to kind of distract Lewis Manley a bit by trying around the outside, even though he knows he might not get through. It might just make Lewis take a different line.
But this just does go to show how hard it is to overtake, and that Bradley is quicker by 3.5 tenths of a second, yet can't find a way through.
Just starting the last lap. It's an absolute dive. It's a lunge from way back.
Bradley.
I don't think that move was ever on.
I don't think so. I think Bradley's been a very naughty boy.
And as the last lap, so Lewis is in the gravel. I think he's got out. Bradley's going very slowly, almost as apologetically slowly, I would say.
Trying to give the position back, I believe, but
Lewis is too far behind. And in fact, it's Josh Banwell who's in second place. Lewis is down in fourth as a result of that contact.
So I think Brad was trying to give the position back here, but I don't think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to have to drop all the way down to fourth place to give the position back.
He knows he's done wrong.
Or he's going to have to continue and face the wrath of the stewards.
Well, I mean, Josh Banwell here in second place with Dan Ryan just behind him, and then Lewis Manley. So we're going to cross the line. Philpott's going to win it, but I think there'll be definitely a stewards inquiry into that one. So Banwell might well end up with the win.
With Dan Ryan, I would guess, would be in second, and Lewis Manley would finish in third.
We'll have to see. We'll obviously let you know as soon as we find out what the outcome is from the stewards investigation.
Let's have a look. I don't think there's much we can really discuss about that.
He was so far back, Bradley Philpott. There was no way he was going to get through there. Look, he's 2 car lengths back when they brake. He's on the curb. He's over the curb on the inside, and he makes contact with the right rear wheel of Lewis Manley's car. I think that a picture tells a story, and that
it'll be
a pretty open shut case.
What we can see is all the excuses and justifications all coming out to race control. I gave him enough space. I lifted off. I didn't hit him. The cat ate the homework. So we'll see. So Brad. Right, we've just heard 30-second penalty to Mr. Philpott for causing avoidable contact. So
yeah, I don't think you can argue with that, really. It was definitely a bit of a rush of blood to the head there, I think, for Mr. Philpott.
So, right, we are, whilst we just watch this replay, getting ready for practice 2. So, in this race, we've got Callum Cripps on pole position with Colin Talbot alongside him in second. Tony Connell in third, Shamak Glodek in fourth, Jack Ashton in fifth, Chris Lorbe in sixth, Nathan Burton in seventh, Jordan Thornton in eighth, Alistair Dendy in ninth. So Mark Winwood is going off to see if he can find Lewis Manley for a interview. Right, so Mark's just going to get Lewis's opinion on that controversial moment.
Okay, I'm here with Lewis Manley, who looked like he was the victim of a sort of savage attack on the last lap going to Paddock Hill Bend. What happened from your point of view, Lewis?
I don't think it was that close enough. Defended to the middle line, and he just can't steam me up to the inside, and he just gave me a massive whack from behind. And unfortunately, I just ended up backwards, and it's so frustrating when you're leading the whole way, defending like crazy, trying to keep the lead, and then on the last lap, and then bang, out I go.
Yeah, I mean, we saw on the commentary that it was a very ambitious move by Bradley. He was quite a long way back, and you had up to that point driven a really great race, so some great defending and some great retaking of Bradley Philpott. So we have heard he was given a 30-second penalty as a result.
Well, which is unfortunate for him, because if he obviously didn't take that risk, he would have taken his 9 points instead of his 30-second penalty, and I've taken a full maximum points. So it's just frustrating for me, because that's just more points lost, and leading the whole way, defending great. Although I had to keep my nerve and keep calm about it, but it's just so frustrating when you're leading so long and you're taken out on the last lap.
Well, it definitely looks like you've certainly got strong pace around this track, Lewis, anyway, so hopefully you'll have better luck for the rest of the night.
I hope I do, because I've been quick all practice today, and first race went good, and then great start on the pole, but then just tough luck on the last lap.
All right, well, better luck for the rest of the night, though.
Cheers.
So that was our interview with Lewis Manley, who did finish that race in 3rd place in the end after that contact with Bradley Philpott. Right, so the cars are on the grid with Callum Cripps in pole position, Colin Talbot in 2nd and Tony Connell in 3rd.
So we're waiting for the lights. We've got red lights. So Callum Cripps starting on pole. He was pretty fast in the first race this evening. Can he take advantage of his pole position? Red light now on. And it's green, they're away. No. Yes, okay, a bit of a delay there, but we're away, and it's a reasonable start by Callum Cripps. He's got Colin Talbot on the inside. Shamek Glodek is 3rd. 3 wide into Paddock Hill. Everybody's got through. Colin Talbot's on the grass, and he's spun through the pack. It looks like he's taken out a couple of drivers. So Colin Talbot, Tony Connell, I think that was. And here we've got Jordan Thornton, who's battling with...
No, he's not. He's not anymore. As we see that yellow car spin off.
And it was nearly a very clean start, but there was just one car that ran onto the gravel at the exit of Paddock Hill and just spun through the pack. So apart from that, it was pretty clean.
So right up at the front, Callum Cripps and Jack Ashton. I think this is going to be the battle that we're going to see. Jack won the last race and disappeared off into the distance, so I'm pretty certain Callum is not going to want him to see him do that again.
Yeah, we've seen how fast Jack Ashton is earlier this evening. So Callum Cripps has got a big job in his hands to fend him off, I would suggest.
We've got Alistair Dendy here in the blue and white V-Box Motorsport car, and Jordan Thornton in the lime green car right behind him. He's putting a lot of pressure on, and I think he's got a very good run there. There is a car parked off on the gravel there. I didn't see who that was.
Well, we've got Chris Law.
Shamak Glodek has just dropped down the field. He was in 3rd, and now he's down into 7th. So we'll stay on this battle now for a little while. Let's see if Jordan can send one up the inside of Alistair. But Alistair moves over. Look, he's wise. He knows the defensive line.
Yeah, he's gone defensive, holding a tight line. But great, Jordan Thornton sort of set him up, and he's just out-driven him out of Paddock Hill. He's already made the pass before they get to Druids.
Beautiful cutback there. He looked like he lined that one up.
Yeah, he clearly took a different line through Paddock Hill, knowing that the line he was on would give him better exit speed. And it worked perfectly. So he's up into 4th place. Nathan Burton's just in front of them in 3rd.
Just keep an eye on Mr. Philpott discussing with race control about rules.
I'm not sure he can defend himself.
I don't think so. We could go and ask him about it. It's now not the right time.
So here,
back to this race, Callum Cripps still in the lead, and he's got Jack Ashton 0.7 of a second behind him.
Ashton is closing in, just not really quickly, but just slowly edging closer to the back of Callum Cripps. Callum Cripps has made a mistake, and he's on the grass. It cost him quite a bit of time, I'd have thought.
I think he's going to be a sitting duck here. Jack has the overspeed.
So what line is he going to take through here? Callum's missed the apex slightly, perhaps, but he's got a reasonable drive out. and he's pulling away slightly down this start-finish straight. So I don't think Ashton can have a look into Paddock Hill on this lap.
Callum's got a very nice defensive line, but again, is he going to... I think Jack's going to try the cut back here. He needs to get on the right-hand side. He's too late, but can he go around the outside of Callum?
And I think Callum Cripps left the door open a little bit there.
Oh, Jack's had to back off there to avoid pushing Callum. Very, very safe driving there. Very fair as well.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for Ashton to pass Cripps, I don't think. He's going to have to really plan it. Probably a few corners in advance and just... Oh, he's gone for a late lunge up into clearways, and they've both survived, but that could have gone wrong.
I'm just looking at the standings at the moment from the previous round, and Jack Ashton is in second place with 53 points in the overall standings table. Callum Cripps on 51 points, so they are very, very close to the championship. Only 2 points separating them from that first round. So again, they're going to want to make sure.
Yeah, they're two high-quality drivers in this field. They're always at the sharp end of whichever circuit we go to.
Now we've got Colin Talbot putting a bit of pressure onto Alistair Dendy here. Blue, white, the BMW, and Alistair. Jack Ashton has taken the lead, apparently.
Oh! Nobody's run wide, and he's allowed...
Yeah, Callum's run one.
No, he's got back into the lead, yes. So Jack Ashton in the orange, white and black coloured car is in the lead.
Here we go, we've got replay here.
Bit of contact. Looked like a touring car move, that did.
Yeah, he's just ever so slightly leaned on his car, pushed him wide and stuck in the gap. Good advertising there for Friction Racing. Sneaking our logo onto the roof of that car.
Lovely looking car.
Oh, so Callum actually, there wasn't really any contact. Callum's just drifted wide.
There was a little bit there, but then...
Not there, that's not enough to make him lose the back end of his car.
No, Callum is just... He's just drifted offline and opened the door.
There's a little bit of contact on the exit, but both guys did lift off and made sure that they continued in that race rather than spin.
Clean move, so Jack Ashton takes the lead. And he's just starting to edge away from Callum Cripps with just about to start the 8th lap.
Let's see what Callum can do, whether he can claw this back. His fastest lap at the moment is nearly 5/10 of a second slower than Jack. So I think on pure pace alone, I think Jack's going to have this. But
we saw what Jack Ashton did to the field in his first race this evening, and
the same field as well. So
yeah, he's just he's got so much pace. He can just run those 46-second laps consistently.
I think we've got Colin Talbot has overtaken Alistair Dendy for 5th place as well. So going well for Colin tonight. I think he's had a few. Well, at the moment he's had a few good results. He seems happy.
Yeah, he looks pretty steady. He's not making any mistakes and just staying out of trouble and running a pretty competitive lap time. Nathan Burton here in 4th place. He's sort of just behind Jordan Thornton, about a second or so, just over a second behind. And here's Shamek Goddett running 7th at the moment.
He's got up onto the back of Alistair Dendy, so
he's sort of coming back because he seemed to have some sort of moment early in the race where we saw him on the gravel. We didn't know quite what happened, but he's fighting back now, and Alistair Dendy in front of us into Paddock Hill Bend.
It looked to me that he'd run wide out of Graham Hill Bend onto that right-hand side and spun, judging by where he was on the track.
Very easy to do if you get onto that sort of grass on the outside there. It's
the Shamak's looking very quick here. He's applying the pressure onto Alistair.
Oh, Dendy's he put a wheel on the grass, and the car just spun around pretty instantly on him.
One thing with these cars, as soon as you start to spin or put too much heat through the tyres, they can be horrible for the lap or two after. So there's a real knack of trying to keep the temperatures under control on the car.
Yeah, if you start drifting the car around, so not necessarily that you actually spin or make a big mistake, but if you just start sliding the car too much, the tyres get hotter and hotter, and then it's a sort of self-perpetuating problem.
So they're on to lap 10 now. Jack's pulled a 1.7 gap out Callum, and then they are about 15 seconds ahead of Jordan Thornton in 3rd. and 17 above Nathan in 4.
So Jordan Thornton's passed Nathan Burton, has he, at some point that we haven't seen? 'Cause
I don't know, but Colin is under a lot of pressure from Shamak Glodak now.
yeah,
Looking at the gaps. Oh, sorry, no, there is
5 seconds.
Sorry, that's my eyesight there. Need a bigger TV screen. We'll have to make an appeal
We need to
to race control,
We need to upgrade.
or I need new eyes.
No, they're shaking their heads at us. We are not going to get a bigger TV.
No upgrade. No, that's worth a go.
And that's Nathan Burton's gone very wide at Druids, out onto the grass. He's not really got anybody close behind him, I don't think. So he's going to get away with it, but it's the last lap. So he's lucky, really, because he definitely went a long way off the track there. So here we are, the finish. Jack Ashton is going to win his second race of the evening.
That's the last lap. So it's your turn to.
Now's the last lap.
It's your turn to mess this one up.
So he's got a lead of 1.8 seconds over Callum Cripps. And on this short lap, without wanting to give him commentator's curse, he should be able to hold this and win the race.
Yeah, I think it's 2 wins out of 2 for Jack, which is, I think that's definitely going to put him into the A final, because after the next race, which is the one that me, Mark, will be in, sorry, Jack has finished. So what will happen after this race? Ben has to work out who's. I think we've got a slight replay here. Right, okay, so Jack Ashton wins that race, Callum Cripps in 2nd, Jordan Thornton in 3rd, Nathan Burton in 4th, Colin Talbot's going to cross the line in 5th, Shamak Glodek in 6th, Tony Connell in 7th, Alistair Dendy's dropped down to 8th, and Chris Law will cross the line in 9th. So we're going to have to go and get ready for our next race, and then what I was trying to fit out there before we had to cover the end of the race, Ben will work out who will be in the A, B and C finals for the evening. There will be the opportunity to progress from a C to a B final if they win, so it'll be very, very close. So I guess we'll pass back over to Ben to cover this next race, and I'll wish you best of luck, Mark.
Yeah, same to you.
And I'll see you on the grid.
Okay, so guys, unfortunately you are back and stuck with me for the next race, as I'm sure the gents have just mentioned. They are racing in this, so Darren and Chris, your commentators for the last 2 races, will be racing in this one. So we're just getting the drivers sat down now. So actually looking at the points situation overall, obviously the top 9 drivers go into the top group. The middle 9 drivers go into the middle group, and the bottom 9 drivers go into the bottom group. At the moment, we have Jack Ashton with the most number of points. Lewis Manley, despite the contact with Bradley Philpott, is in 2nd. Bradley Philpott, after his 30-second penalty, is 3rd, but equal 3rd with 4 other drivers. So 5 drivers have all got the same number of points, and at that point it goes on race wins. But also it goes on best lap time as well. I think we've got everyone ready to go. Let me just double check and then we'll get started. Okay guys, so welcome to our final qualifying race, race number 6. I'm joined by Callum Cripps, one of the stars of the last race, so wonderful to have him with us. We're just getting ready. Alan Cater starting on pole position. The lights are just going out. You can see 4 lights, and we're green. Oops, looks like someone had their steering wheel turned to the left at the back there. Whoever was in number 1, it's Chris Hardwick. And 3 abreast. And this is the group that had the cleanest start last. Oh no, there's someone in the background. I thought we'd got. Okay, so apologies for all of our issues with our comms, guys, but we are back, and hopefully you can hear us now. Paul Day in second, and Lee Connell, nice move up the inside, coming into clearways, and Lee's looking to expand on his race win in race 1. If he wins this one, he will be a pole for the next one. There's someone off in the background, I think. Is that Darren? No, it's not Darren Kerr. It might be Grant Lyman. Grant Lyman's quite far back. I'm not sure if that was on the first corner or not. Anyway, moving on. It's quite a close battle for 3rd place. I wonder if we can change the camera crew to that. Fantastic. So Will Murphy there in 3rd, and David Williams in 4th. David in that. I really like the lime green.
I'm not sure in the lime green.
You're not?
Actually, well, I don't know. I like the blue and yellow. That's nice.
What's wrong with green?
It's with Will Murphy. Well, green. It's a bit too green, isn't it?
Too green.
It's kind of a Lamborghini green, really, isn't it?
Looks great.
It doesn't look great on a 1 Series though.
It's Kawasaki green. No, we don't follow that too well, rubbish. And so David putting a bit of pressure on Will Murphy. And I wonder if we'll see any more 360s from him. I wanted to try and grab him between races, but I was unable to. But I was quite impressed.
We've got to keep an eye on Adam Cater as well for 360s. He's very good at that.
Yes.
So let's give him marks out of 10, I think.
Marks out of 10, okay. So Adam Cater is just... Oh, if we can move to that, actually. He's in 5th place under a lot of pressure from Mark Winwood. This is the battle then. So Adam Cater in that sort of Force India liveried car, and Mark Winwood's the red car behind.
Looks to the inside, but doesn't make a move. They're quite wide on the exit. Well, not too bad, gets away with it. Okay, to brake under the bridge, down to 2nd gear, try and hug that curve. Run it out. Mark went a tiny bit, got a bit of oversteer on that exit of that corner.
I'm not sure if that was oversteer or Anthony's camera techniques.
Well, it could be, either way.
I think he's moving the camera manually.
To the inside than it should be. Coming over here, really platter these curves on the inside. Down into 3rd or 2nd. Some people are using 3rd today. I'm using 3rd.
Using 3rd through.
But then quicker people are using 2nd. So it's a matter of personal preference. Anyway, as we go on to lap 4 now, it's still Lee Connell who leads from Paul Day in 2nd. Will Murphy in 3rd.
It is actually it's changed a little bit. I think Will's putting quite a bit of pressure on Paul Day now.
It is.
So yeah, here we are.
There we go.
Through Druids, then down the hill towards Graham Hill. This is Anthony's favourite camera on top of the bonnet of the 1 Series. And lots of pressure. Look to the inside.
Oh, he's going for the inside.
Oh,
very close. Very close. It's very close.
Almost contact. And all the while, I think David's gaining as well. David Williams behind in that beautiful lime green coloured car. So we'll keep an eye on that.
As he goes for a lunge down the inside of Paddock Hill.
Turn 1.
It's good. Oh, nearly banged doors. Gets away with it. It's going up to now turn 2. Brake. Oh, he's switching inside. Yeah, easy move now. But will David Williams capitalise from this?
Absolutely.
Don't know. He's on the outside for turn 3. So he's bailed out of it. So you can think. You need to think of the points early on in the season, but. You can always send it down the inside as we
send it like your famous move in the 24 hour.
In the 24 hour, in the last 20 minutes, that was a
beautiful dive down the inside turn 1 at Estoril.
That's a good promotional though. If anybody wants to see my dive, it's 22 minutes before the checkered flag on the 24 hour of Estoril.
We've just got to get those views up.
We have got to get them views up.
Probably one of the
that
best
was
moves.
well
I've seen
sent.
there. It's very, very well sent. Well sent by Callum Cripps there. So obviously at this point you want to try and make sure that you get enough points to get in the top group for the grand finals. Now it's all about consistency, because you can have one good race, but if you fall out in the next one, you're still going to be in the bottom group because everyone's so close in terms of lap times and performance.
Yeah, it kind of turns on where you're gridded for the races. I mean, obviously people can be, if we're switching the grids around, so we'd have a pole and then you'd start in last, or if you start in fifth, you start in fifth for both races. So we're fourth and fifth. No, it'd be fifth, wouldn't it? That's just me. Sorry. Fifth and fifth. Yeah. So middle of the pack, you don't really want to be there, especially going down Paddock Hill Bend.
Yeah,
so you either want to be near the front or near the back.
Lots of pressure
really,
here from David,
there is,
yeah. He's looking.
He's looking racy.
He won't make a move here at Druids, but he might cut back. Nope, it's not. It's like a conventional line.
And all the while they're catching up on Will Murphy, who's still taking good lines, but they seem to be catching slightly. As David Williams is fastest out this group, I believe, with a 47.15 at the moment.
Yeah. So, yes, he is. I think it's the quickest lap out of everyone in this group. Completely in the entire race, so he is the quickest man on the track. Let me just flick back here to battle for 5th and 6th. That's Mark Winwood has made his way past Adam Cater, but Adam's staying with him, and Chris Hardwick I think is just behind as well. Oh no, he's not just behind. I've read the time screens wrong. He's a couple of seconds behind, but still quite close between these two drivers. So I'm sure they'll keep each other honest for the remaining 4 laps of this race. It's the battle for second, third, and fourth. Then back on that. So David's still looking for a way past.
David got a good exit out the last corner, so they hugged the wall going down the pitch straight. It's interesting. A lot of people take a lot of different lines down the pitch straight. They either go right to the outside and follow the rubbered in tarmac, or they go straight to the inside. If you watch touring cars on TV, it's straight to the inside.
Yeah,
in the
wall. Shorter line, isn't it?
It's very much so. But it's people are taking different lines all the way around. So, David Williams gets a big oversteer moment coming out. Turn 2. They're very tight now. So we switch back to this is Daisy. This is Adam Cater. Sorry, I call him Daisy, and Chris Hardwick.
Call him Daisy if you like.
We'll call him Daisy.
So yeah, Chris Hardwick is
he back
blue car? Yeah, he's gaining, isn't it? Last time we were watching, he was quite a bit further back. So obviously the battle between Mark and Adam is having a negative effect on their lap times.
So David Williams is still on the back of Paul Day as we go on to lap 10. And it's looking very close now. Maybe go for a try down the inside. He's got to try. Yeah, he goes for it.
Defensive line, yeah, good defensive line from Paul Day there. Closed the door, but not in an unpredictable manner, which I think sometimes causes quite a few incidents.
Yeah.
So good defensive driving from Paul Day, but I think the problem that they're having at the moment is now because they are so close and racing so hard, is that's actually letting Will Murphy escape. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that for the remaining couple of laps. Adam Cater, meanwhile, is actually ahead of Mark Winwood, so I don't know if you've got a replay of that. We're going to look for the replay whilst we keep an eye on David and Paul Day.
There we go. I've actually got a roll.
So Adam Cater gets a bit of contact there. I think by the noise in the venue, we've also missed another accident, so we're going to flick back to that.
So we get another replay. So David Williams is now in third, so ahead of Paul Day. So there's obviously some either amazing move or lots of contact by the sound of it. Yes. So as we have a look now at the replay, so he goes up the inside into turn 2, makes it stick. He taps Will Murphy, and then gets away with it. But we'll have to investigate that. I think that should be okay from what it was a good dive, to be honest. So we're going super slow-mo. We'll look at the helicopter view. Nah, he's way past him. But then he gets away with it. What does Bradley Pillhot think?
I think he was very fortunate that the car in front held on to that, because otherwise that probably would have been a stop-go penalty.
There you go. So we're getting opinions from all around the venue tonight.
Okay, yes.
The race is finished. And I didn't notice.
I was too busy giving away penalties.
Oh, so I was too busy talking to.
So Lee Connell. Yes.
So we do apologise for that, but that is Lee Connell who has just walked away with that win. Will Murphy in second, David Williams in third, Paul Day in fourth, Chris Hardwick coming back in fifth. To get a nice slide from David Williams coming down Paddock Hill. With Adam Cater seventh, Darren Kirk in eighth, and Grant Lyman in ninth.
Okay, so guys, just bear with us for about 60 seconds or so whilst we sort out the grids for the grand final. So bear with us over a second. We're just going to work out who's in which group, who's starting where, all that kind of stuff, and we'll get back to you in a second.
So we've just got the results in from the first 2 races, and this will decide who's in Heat C, B and A for the final. So the first race we will have will be the C final, and for pole position, Reece Foreman will be in 2nd, Alistair Dendy in 3rd, Shamak Gledek will be in 4th, Adam Daisy Cater in 5th, Tony Connell in 6th, Chris Law in 7th, Steve Boyce in 8th, and Grant Lyman will be in 9th. So that will be the race coming up. You just see on the screens they're just looking back at Mark Winwood's roll-in attempt, where he was lightly caught by Daisy. Well, I can see a bit of handshaking going on. An apology. So I am going to pass over for Mark Winwood, who will be in the B final for this race. And we'll try and get a second commentator to sit alongside Mark for this.
So Darren Kirk will be in this race, so I will be commentating, and alongside me I will have Callum Cripps, who's going to join me to commentate on this first final race of the night. So it's been an exciting night so far, Callum, a lot of close racing. How's it been going for you?
It's been going okay. My first race was a bit leery, to say the least. I started P9, so I started right at the back of the grid. Got a good start, pulled up alongside Colin, my Misfits teammate from the 24 Hour, but unfortunately got a tap from behind. We both straightened up again, then completely, my trademark, sent it into Paddock Hill. It came out in P4, so that was quite good, even though a few people went off to the left of me, but
and yet
on.
You're
P3, I think.
Yeah, and your second race of the night was a good battle with Jack Ashton, who's the form man this evening. He's got unbelievable pace. We've seen in both his races.
Pace,
you fended him off for a while, and then eventually...
yeah, I just turned in on the brakes, back came round, and then shifted down 2 gears, and there was just a load of oversteer, so I thought I'd hold it. I saw him on the inside, I thought I'm not going to turn in, obviously, because I was way too sideways, and then just followed him to the flag, because I thought more about the points for the championship.
Yeah, I mean, this circuit is producing some really tight, close racing. The short lap is meaning it's really sort of... you can kind of get into a real rhythm, I think. You can see drivers getting into the zone and just building a rhythm all the time.
Yeah, you can. It's tricky on the curbs on this circuit, as is to real life, really.
Yeah,
especially Paddock Hill Bend on the inside. You don't want to take too much curb. You end up on 2 wheels.
As we saw in the race we just had, where Adam Cater made just slight contact with the back of my car, and because I was on the curb, I think that extra bit of speed, it just rolled me over.
Yeah, that's it's got a big inside curb on, and you normally take that apex into turn 2. So it's just very unfortunate. I don't know if I don't think it would happen in real touring cars, but it's still good entertainment. And then the curbs on the exits of turn 3, they are it's very thin. There's only a tyre width on the curb, so you don't want to run too wide, otherwise you're onto the grass.
Yeah, sure.
And in real life, they've actually got pressure pads there on the outside, which take a photo. So if you're basically disobeying track limits, they'll take a photo.
Okay.
You get 3 times, and then you get a track limits penalty.
Right. Yeah.
Which really upset the touring car boys last year when they introduced it. But yeah, so that's something that we haven't got, thankfully. I think a lot of people will be getting penalties tonight otherwise. But yeah, basically on every corner you need to hug the curb on the inside line, I'm saying. Apart from Paddock Hill possibly, as you don't want to get turned around. But if you get away with it, you can launch it up there in 5th and get away with it and actually get a really good run.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot of the overtakes tonight have happened over several corners. It's if you try and just dive up the inside into one corner from a long way back, there's going to be no way through. But the key seems to be to get momentum and sort of set the overtake up maybe 3 or 4 corners before you actually pull the move. So we're just getting ready now. Drivers are getting into their pods for this first C final of the evening. So we're going to have Adam Cater on pole position for this race. Behind him will be Reece Foreman. Steve Boyce is 3rd. Chris Law in 4th, Darren Kirk 5th, Tony Connell 6th, Grant Lyman in 7th, Shamak Glodek 8th, and Alistair Dendy in 9th position. So this is the part of the evening where we start to sort of sort the order out a bit more, and we've got drivers who are very much of a similar lap time, have had a similar performance so far tonight. So we should get, these final races should be really close, should produce some exciting racing.
They should be, yeah. I mean, this is obviously we'll call it the C final. Are we calling it C final?
Yeah, that's right.
So C final. So this is kind of the bottom end drivers. They're still very quick. They're still putting in lap times half a second off the top guys. It's just
not much between them.
Unfortunate luck this evening, or they just haven't got to grips with the circuit as quick as some people.
Okay, so they're about to form up on the grid. Here we are on the grid. So the grid order has actually changed slightly from what I said before. As you can see on the tower on the left there, Darren Kirk is starting in pole position with Steve Boyce alongside him in the bright lime green car. And then we'll have Rhys Foreman and Alistair Dendy, Shamak Glodek, Adam Cater 6th, Tony Connell, Chris Law and Grant Lyman on the back in the Force India coloured car. So we're just waiting for the lights. A few seconds before we get... Here we are, red lights. And green, they're away. Everybody's made a reasonable start. And it looks like they're going to be sort of 3 abreast at the back down into Paddock Hill. A good start from Darren Kirk, but it looks like Steve Boyce has got into the leads. Somebody's lost it in the middle of the pack. And 2 cars out. And one's on over the fence.
Oh my goodness me. That is... Oh dear, it's just carnage. I don't even know how to commentate on that.
Carnage up at Druids as well.
We've got all cars up to about P3 off completely. Oh, Darren Kirk's got away fantastically though, hasn't he?
So Steve Boyce has avoided it by being at the front, I think, in the lime green car. Darren Kirk's got through as well, avoided the carnage, and Tony Connell is in 3rd place, but the field's quite spread out already.
Yeah, he's 13 seconds back, is Tony Connell, so he's obviously been caught up in that contact. So 7 cars out of 9 ended up somewhere in either turn 1 or 2.
And it looks like it was Adam Cater who went over the fence at Paddock Hill.
It did, because he's got a DNF next to his name, so he'll be amongst the grandstands at Paddock Hill. But so we'll cut back to the race now with it's just Tony Connell and Graham Lyman.
Yes, it's Grant Lyman with Shamak Glodek trying to go up the inside into Paddock Hill, and he's pulled a great move. He's sliding the car a lot, but he's got through. And now Lyman's up the inside, side by side, a bit of contact. Lyman's on the grass.
Is he around? Can he hold it? Just about. But, he's lost some process there.
Chris
Law's gone through, so it's Alistair Dendy.
He's struggling to hold onto the car. He went onto the grass on both sides of the track there, so he's lost a lot of places, down to 8th.
So he'll have cold tyres now, so you need to warm them back up, get his focus back as we go onto lap.
Are you finding that it's possible to overheat the tyres slightly on this short lap?
Not really. You would, if there wasn't, obviously we've got 3 right-hand turns and 1 left-hand turn. If it wasn't for that left-hand turn, obviously, there would be overheating on the left front. But it doesn't. It doesn't really. It's every time you heat them up too much, we see a passive down the inside. That was that Chris Law?
That was, I think, Shamak Glodek going past Chris Law for 5th place.
Well, that was quite a move as well. That was touring car stuff down the inside.
Oh, great move there, side by side.
On the outside, it doesn't work. I've got Alistair Dendy, I can't see. There we go, back to it. Yeah, still.
Speaking to the top. So this little group here, we've got Chris Law leading it. Alistair Dendy is behind him. And then in 8th place is Grant Lyman in the Force India coloured car. This is the closest group on track at the moment. Up at the front, Darren Kirk is just 5 seconds behind Steve Boyce now, so Steve Boyce has got a nice tidy lead. And
well, there we go. So there's a tap there from. Oh dear, that was a tap from the black and yellow car of. Is that Shamak Glodek? Is that who just went through? There was some contact there. That was Chris Law who got spun around. So, and then we see Grant Lyman on the grass coming out of turn 3. So we're back with, this is Darren Kirk and Rhys Foreman who have just swapped positions.
This is actually Rhys Foreman is in the blue, white and gold car, and he's got Tony Connell just behind him.
So
We are hearing from race control that Adam Cater will be getting points on his licence as a result of the first corner incident. He is deemed to be mainly responsible.
It's been a very, very bad night for, well, we call him Daisy, but Adam Cater. And yeah, he's going to be going home quite disappointed tonight.
He's certainly had an eventful evening.
He's had an eventful evening, but he managed to keep a smile on his face whatever he does. So we'll take his hats off to him. But
so Reece Foreman here running third. Glodek is behind him in fourth.
The grid is quite spread out now. We've got 4 seconds as we see a replay of someone going off at the back of turn 3. We'll try and find out who that is. I don't think there's any contact there. It's just a bit wide coming out of turn 2. Break down into third. Clap the apex. I see. Oh, just got oversteer on the way out. So that was just a bit unfortunate there from. Is that Darren Kirk?
Tony Connell, that was.
Tony Connell. Sorry, I'm terrible with names tonight. It's yeah, Tony Connell. So he's down now in 8th place.
And here's Shamek Glodek chasing Reece Foreman. Reece Foreman locking the wheel a little bit and sliding through at Graham Hill Bend. On board now with Shamek Glodek. Reece Foreman in front of us.
Oh, he's got wide. Oh, he's done a half spin but managed to recover. But that's a lot of time lost there. And he was definitely on the back of Reece Foreman.
He did well not to spin the car, but he's lost a lot of time.
It's quite easy to actually save the car when it's an oversteer on that corner, as it's banked quite well. But on any other corner, especially turn 2, it's very tricky. If you get sideways on that, if you get back on line, it's you know, it'll be
Chris Law's gone
another
off.
person spinning round. Unfortunately,
that's Chris
Is
Law.
that Chris Law from, it was 5th place, I believe, or was it a bit further down? Maybe 6th.
Yeah, so he's back down to 8th place now.
So Tony Connell moves up 1 place after his spin. So we've got Adam Cater at the back, who's DNF'd. Chris Law, who's just had a spin, and Tony Connell, who recovers from a spin about 1 lap ago. So
Adam Cater is back in the race, but he's a lap down as a result of his visit to the scenery at Paddock Hill Bend.
So Steve Boyce still leads 5 seconds ahead of Darren Kirk, as Reece Foreman 21 seconds behind. So the top 2 are really getting away here, and they can start to settle down for these last 5 laps.
It looks like Steve Boyce is slowly pulling away from Darren Kirk in 2nd place, so I don't think there's going to be much action at the front, barring somebody making a mistake. Here we're with Alistair Dendy in the black and yellow car, running 5th, just behind Shamek Glodek, who's had quite a good race actually. He's come through the field quite well.
Has, yeah. So he's taken some good curb on the inside and the outside of turn 2 as they come down the back straight now. They'll take quite a lot of curb on the left and then slam on the brakes into 3rd, possibly 2nd. It depends what kind of preference people are using tonight for 2nd or 3rd through that.
Third through there.
I go for 3rd through there, but I've seen people such as Lewis Manley go for 2nd and get a really good drive off of there. So it seems to not push the car as much in 3rd as we see. Is that a late lunge from Alistair Dendy? It doesn't seem to work out, but now he's got a good run up to him, really get him into. Oh, that's taking the correct line actually through there, Shamek, because you want to. The racing line is actually to dive down into that corner quite deep and not going quite wide. So it's a strange move, but because as it's uphill, it's better to get on the brakes. You can brake later and get the car turned in quite a bit onto the curves.
Yeah, Shamek's had a good run through those few corners. He's pulled a bit of a gap on there, Alistair Dendy. So this is probably the closest battle on track at the moment. Very spread out at the front. Then we've got these two, and then behind them, Tony Connell recovering through the field. Chris Law, who's had a few trips to the scenery, I think. Grant Lyman, and of course the unfortunate Adam Cater at the back.
Yeah, it starts to settle down now in this race after that first lap carnage, as we saw at 1 and 2. We didn't even get much replays of that, but we can only predict carnages. Who was that? Just spun round at the exit of turn 2. Was that?
That was Grant Lyman.
Grant Lyman. So he's now 1 lap down.
So after the carnage at Paddock Hill and Druids on the first lap, which really sort of spread this field out, it's been plain sailing at the front. Darren Kirk's closing in on Steve Boyce. He's got the gap down to 4 seconds, so maybe it's not over yet, but with 10 laps down, not much time left for Darren to do something about Steve Boyce in front.
Yeah, so he's taken roughly about half a second off him from when we last checked, but he seems to be settled now as the Dendy still chases Shamak Glodek.
We're going for Glodek.
We'll go for Glodek.
So it's interesting how you can
name.
see some drivers is quicker at different parts of this lap. Shamak Glodek is very quick, it seems, out of Druids through Graham Bend.
Very quick, and Alistair Dendy seems to be better through Paddock Hill Bend and up to Druids.
So the gap just going up and down
it is
on the
all
lap.
the time. So maybe Alistair Dendy can send a move up the inside into Druids, but it's way too far back, I think, at the moment.
So we're hearing that Shamak Glodek is 3/10 faster through the second sector. So what we were thinking is spot on. That's where he's making his time.
That is where he's making his time. It seems you can see they've closed up a tiny bit now, not as much as the last lap, but he just seems to nail these last two corners.
And the leaders have crossed the line now. So Steve Boyce has won. Darren Kirk's finished in second place. Here we are with Reece Foreman, who's going to finish third, a long way behind, but a good third place. Stayed out of trouble. He's about to cross the line now. And Shamak Glodek has lost a position. It looks like Alistair Dendy's got fourth, so Glodek must have made a mistake somewhere. Alistair Dendy in the black and yellow car is going to finish fourth.
Oh dear, so we'll have a replay of that.
Here's
so we just get oversteer on the exit. Oh dear.
Another half spin.
Yeah, very, very close to actually collecting Alistair Dendy on the exit there. But yeah, see, exactly the same as what I had in my last race, apart from I managed to keep it going because it kept the momentum.
Yeah,
but it's very easy to do that. You brake and then but there's Darren Kirk.
Yes.
Finally joins us back.
Yeah, so let's have a quick word with Darren.
Yeah.
So Darren, a decent second place finish in the end, and it looked like you avoided the carnage at the start, but you were never able to really get that close to Steve Boyce.
Yeah, I did get a car come from the gravel trap somewhere into the side of my car. I think I was quite lucky there that I managed to get off in second. I don't know who it was. I just saw chaos behind me.
Yeah, the blame has been put at Adam Cater, who's having a bit of an unfortunate night, but he's been given the blame for the first corner carnage.
Okay. Once came out of that, just couldn't get anywhere near. I don't know who I was racing, who was actually in second.
Yeah, you were just following Steve Boyce as the guy got away in the front.
Yeah, no, he didn't put foot wrong. Fair play, good win. Yeah, couldn't get it close to him, so it's just a case of take it to the finish.
Right, I'm actually in this next race, so I'm going to leave the commentary with you, and I'm going to go and see how I get on this one.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. So we've just had a quick battery change, and we should be good to go for the second race. Now, I believe what I've got as the grid might be slightly incorrect, so I'm just going to double check this with race control. So just having a quick walk around the pods. No, I think this is right. So we have Dane Oliver on pole position, Josh Banwell in second, Jordan Thornton in third, Paul Day in fourth, Colin Talbot in fifth place, Mark Winwood is starting in sixth, Dan Ryan in seventh, Andrew Ashton in eighth, and Chris Hardwick starting on the back of the grid and back in ninth. So, and someone will be joining this race. In 10th place, it'll be the winner of our previous round. So we're just going to get our overlay updated for that 10th driver. Now, because he won the previous final, he gets promoted into this one. And again, if he can come from last to win this one, he will get promoted into the A final. So it's all to play for. There is that opportunity to move forward if you need to, or if you're able to, I should say. So we have all the cars on the grid, and the new car, the 10th car, who was the winner of the previous race, is in that orange and black car right at the back. So I have Callum here as well commentating.
Hello, I'm back again. I keep on going away and then coming back, so this is...
I guess you made the A finals then. So.
I did, just about, but we'll have to see how this race gets on. Dane Oliver on pole as the lights go to red. We'll go to green very shortly. And we're away. It looks to be a reasonable start from everybody. As Chris Hardwick goes to the middle and back of the pack. There's 3 abreast into turn 1. Everybody seems to be not too bad through there this time.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact, but I think in general... Oh, there's a few cars.
There it is. We were waiting for it. Oh dear. So was that Jordan Thornton?
There's a bit of nudging going on.
Yeah,
right,
Dane Oliver's gone right to the back, so that was a terrible start from Dane Oliver, unfortunately. But so we're back with driver 10. Who's driver 10?
Driver 10
let's
is
have a
the
look.
winner of our previous race.
So that was Steve Boyce. There we go. We've sorted it out now. So Steve Boyce now is 7th after starting at the back. We've got Josh Banwell leading from Paul Day, from Mark Winwood, from Andrew Ashton and Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, so it all looks very close between this group of drivers. I mean, I found in the last race, if you can drive at the speed of the guy in front, it's very hard to overtake.
It is. You've got to find areas where they're particularly strong and areas they're particularly weak. So you don't want to go for the areas they're strong, because they could still run it around the outside of you as they know the grip. But if you find somewhere where they're particularly weak, maybe going wide.
I'll tell you what, that's Mark Winwood going through the second place.
This is a good battle up at the front. So this is this the top 4? Yes, it is. So we've got Josh Banwell in the lime green BMW, that hideous lime green BMW M1, followed by Mark Winwood, who's putting on a good show here, as we've got Paul Day all over the back of Andrew Ashton, and he sends it down the inside, so that was a good move.
Mark Winwood's looking racy at the front.
He is. He's looking good. There's very close to running into the back there. That was Andrew Ashton. It's Paul Day. My apologies. Paul Day onto the back of Andrew Ashton. And so that was late on the brakes for Andrew Ashton. As Mark Winwood still coming on the brakes, slowly coming out. Mark Winwood has got some very tail happiness, and it drops back to
Mark's taking the lead. It's
Josh Banwell. My apologies. Josh Banwell is now right alongside Paul Day. As got way too much oversteer coming out of clearaways. So now they're both line astern as we come through Druids, coming down the hill, down into 3rd gear, left-hander, the only left-hander really, apart from this. It's tiny little, well, it is a left-hander in the next corner, but it's completely flat, a clatter over the curbs.
Mark's taking
a very defensive line from Mark Winwood. We hear some there's going off. Oh dear me! Oh no! So that's Mark Winwood.
Hang on. Yeah. What happened?
We've got all cars completely going off there. So that was not good. So we're going to get a replay of this now. So we'll have a look. So this is Mark Winwood in first. It just gets tapped from the rear coming out, and they're already both of them pretty much sideways. And that was yeah.
And you had a good
what do you say about that? He did have a very good run out of the corner, but they're both kind of sideways and just got tapped. So that means that, well, Paul Day's now leading and Dan Ryan in second. So that was messy there, really.
The third place car spun off on his own.
He did actually spin off on his own out the panic of the first 2 cars spinning out. So That was a missed opportunity there.
So now we've got Paul Day in the lead in the yellow car, Dan Ryan just behind in the red car, and Steve Boyce is in third place. He's the guy that just won the C final, and he's in third place.
He's having a whale of a time. He's 1.5 seconds off Paul Day in the lead, so this is impressive stuff from Steve Boyce. There's Paul Day still leads, Dan Ryan in second. Jordan Thornton is in fourth now, with Dane Oliver in fifth.
We've had a bit of a shuffle round towards the back. Chris Hardwick's gone from 10th up to 7th behind Mark Winwood. Andrew Ashton with that contact coming out of Clearways is down into 8th. Colin Tolbot and Josh Banwell in 9th and 10th respectively. So they've fallen off the back of this lead group. Well, what is there? There's just over a second between the lead and 3.
So it's still quite close right at the front. It's a bit more spread out towards the rear. We've got around 3 seconds per car at least, all the way to the back of the grid. So it's really, the battle is up front, as we've got, this is Andrew Ashton and Chris Hardwick, I believe, battling for 7th place. They go side by side down into turn 3. Should have the inside line, so there we go. Was that on? Was that Andrew Ashton and Colin Talbot? Was that for 8th place? Possibly, it probably was. But we hear some crazy screams going off around the back. So I'm not really sure what's going on, if there's something else on the track. But so that's Andrew Ashton up into 7th place now. So we've got the top 3 still covered just over a second. We've got Dan Ryan in the red car, Steve Boyce in the black and orange, and Paul Day in the almost Wix kind of coloured BMW.
Steve Boyce is looking...
He's looking very racing, very impressive, Steve Boyce tonight. He could even possibly, if he keeps it all together, I mean, we've got 18 laps in this B final, so he could make it into the A final, and that would be very impressive if he to do that.
I didn't realise it was a slightly longer race. Obviously ours was a little bit shorter, being in the bottom of the sea.
Yes, but as we cross the lap, we're now into lap 8.
So what they will start to see is their tyres. Yeah, so they will start to find their tyres will be heating up, and they will be struggling somewhat.
Are you struggling with overheated tyres tonight?
If you spin, I found straight away, as soon as I span the wheels up, the car was horrible for a lap afterwards. And if you span again, then it was really hard to get the temperatures back under control.
Yeah, so we're encountering problems with overheating tyres tonight. It's most definitely the left front.
I think we're just having another quick tactical battery swap. So we're just going to follow on board with Steve Boyce now, right behind the back of Dan Ryan, and you can see the yellow car of Paul Day just that little bit further up the road. But Dan Ryan has gone wide, and Steve Boyce is up to 2nd. So let's see. A round of applause here from Callum, who's impressed with that move. So let's see whether Steve Boyce can get his 2nd win in these finals. Jordan Thornton is catching up on the back of Dan Ryan after that, in 4th place.
And I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a technical glitch changing over batteries on my microphone, but we're back to it now. So we're watching. It's just Jordan Thornton and Dan Ryan. It is now as they clatter the curves coming down Paddock Hill Bend. He's very up the inside. He's going for the inside move into turn 2. Should be an easy enough move.
Yeah,
there you go. Hug the curb. Lovely done. Yeah, that was a good move there. So Jordan Thornton. Oh no, it's Dan Ryan. Sorry. It's now up to 4th. Or?
Yeah, that's Dan in the red car, so he's just dropped down to 4th.
So he's just dropped down to 4th. So there we are, Jordan. So this is the race for 3rd place at the moment, as Steve Boyce still chasing down Paul Day, still 1.1 seconds behind, which is exactly the same as what he was when he was 3rd. So he's got a bit more space there to try and find out where Paul Day is possibly quicker and capitalise on that. As this battle for third still isn't over. As Dan Ryan goes, oh dear me, so that was a definite...
yeah, I think the stewards will be looking at that.
That will be yeah.
I'd say a little bit of squeezing on the way in, and
that was a bit of squeezing, but that is the correct line through that corner, so that was just a big lunge that didn't pay off, but he did move over quite soon, quite sudden, but you hold your line and you stick to it, but we try and get a helicopter view, there we go, and he did move over quite suddenly there actually, way before maybe he should have done, so we'll have to have a further look into that. I would say possibly that it's moved over a bit too soon.
So, Paul Day still in the lead. He's only... Oh, here we go. Steve Boyce is, half a second behind him.
Yes, he's catching him now. As we hear a massive kind of woo from the... somewhere in the venue. I'm not sure where it was. But, oh, there we go. We've got a replay now, so we can have a look. So, oh, dearie me. That was... I
think that's Chris Hardwick coming over the front of Andrew.
That was just... Yeah, he just moved across. Have we got a reaction from Bradley Philpott here again?
You can't change line if there's a car that's slightly overlapping you, can you? The car with the red stripes was just going in a straight line. Orange car tried to move into a space that was still occupied.
Especially with these cars where they are particularly light on the back end. If you are coming across another car, you're going to end up spinning.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Civics we had last season were a bit more easy to correct when you got a tap from the rear as they're front wheel drive, but they were still quite twitchy, whereas these BMWs are, I would say, far nicer to drive and far nicer to kind of get back if you're actually spinning. So as we're still with Paul Day and Steve Boyce. Steve Boyce is looking very racy now as he looks to the inside. No, he doesn't. And comes through to complete. This will be lap 13 going on to lap 14.
Interesting.
But there is only half a second, 5 tenths between them.
It'll be interesting to see how Steve, where he places his car through Paddock Hill and whether he can get that run into Druids, because I think
he has got a good one. He's got a good run now. Will he send it down the inside? No. But Paul Day is defending quite well. This is a great race for the lead, and it's not over yet. We've still got another 4 laps to go, as they both pretty much dead even coming out. Even though Steve Boyce has gained two tenths through theirs, will he send it down the inside? No, not this time. He's just sizing him up, ready to go.
He's going to sit right behind him, or be surprised to try and get that cut back through Paddock.
So they hug the wall. So they come around to complete lap 14. Paul Day still ahead. Steve Boyce, Dan Ryan in third. Clatter the curb on the entrance. Get a tiny. Could have been a bit smooth through there. The curb unsettled him a tiny bit. And he goes quite wide into turn 2 into Druids.
So Callum, if you were Steve Boyce, where would you make your overtaking move?
It's got to be into Druids, really. I mean, he does look back quicker around the back end of the circuit, so possibly coming up to here into turn 5, really give it stamp on the brakes and just send it down the inside. But he has got a few more laps to do, but he's running out. These laps go very quickly here at Brands Indy, so it's going to be tight. If Paul Day can hold it off, then that's fine. But you also got to think on points as well. If you hit each other off, you're going to fall down the order.
Let's have a quick look. We've got Colin Talbot right in front of Chris Hardwick for 8th place, so they're still fighting all the way down the field. Chris is all over the back of Colin. See if
it's quite defensive line from Colin coming out to complete his 15th lap. So they are quite quick. So we're back with the leaders. Steve Boyce is still there, dropped a few tenths in that last lap, so it may be it now, but we never know. He goes quite wide. It seems to take a wider entry, does Paul Day, than Steve Boyce into that final corner. So maybe that's a place where Steve Boyce can capitalise, but we're still waiting for that crucial send it up the inside. Yeah. We're waiting for it, but it should be. Ah, there we go. So Steve Boyce is only quicker in the last sector by a few hundredths of a second, so that's useful information.
It's
still
the last
look.
lap now.
It
So
is the last lap. So is he going to do? Is he going to send one down the inside? Do you think? I doubt it. You see two cars crossing the line actually, side by side. But we'll get back to that. It looks like it's going to be all over yet. It takes the regular wide line onto the pit straight. So Paul Day is going to win our B final race and promote his way up to the A final. Steve Boyce, a brilliant drive nonetheless in second place. He did really well there. 10th on the grid to second. Dan Ryan in third, who will come across the line shortly. There we go. Mark Winwood in fourth. Dane Oliver fifth, who hasn't had a great race, unfortunately. So he'll finish now. Jordan Thornton in sixth. Andrew Ashton in seventh. Colin Talbot in eighth, who's just about to come across the line now. And Chris Hardwick has dropped off the back of him somewhat, so I wonder what's happened there.
I'd say that looks to me.
That is Chris Hardwick, or is that? Yes, there it is. That's Josh Banwell.
There we go.
My apologies. So the lime green car of Josh Banwell just about to cross the line now to complete his final lap. And that was B final.
That was the B final.
That was the B final.
So let's
So
have a
here
look
it is.
who we've got for the A final. Obviously, Paul Day will step up and be the 10th car in the final. But on pole position is going to be Jack Ashton, Lee Connell in second, Will Murphy in third. Callum,
Hello.
you'll be starting
I'll be
in
starting in
fourth.
fourth. That's
Nathan Burton in fifth.
Good.
Nathan's had a brilliant.
Nathan has had a brilliant. I'm going to be watching out for him
Very
definitely.
impressed. David Williams in sixth, which is not bad for who's had no practice today. Lewis Manley in seventh. Phil Bradpott in eighth. Carl Chard in ninth, and then Paul Day will be in 10th. So Mark Winwood is back with us now. How was that, Mark?
Yeah, interesting. Quite exciting at the start. Got in the lead briefly.
Yeah, so we saw. Looked like you were a little bit unfortunate with Andrew Ashton, and then I don't know who the third chap was with you, but he span off in sympathy.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're in the race. It's difficult to know exactly what happened behind, but I was going through clearways and I definitely got a bit of a bobble. I lost the back of the car slightly in the middle of the corner, and that definitely cost me a bit of drive. And obviously I got guys right behind me, and somebody made contact and I spun round, but I don't know where. It's hard to say from inside the car whether I was, whether I was actually ahead or whether there was somebody up the inside.
Yeah, I've got another low battery.
So overall, it was a fun race, and at the end, two cars in front of me got together, which gave me another couple of places, which is quite nice.
Yeah, we were watching the battle for the lead there, which was, I think we were all wishing on. I've lost my bit of paper. The chap's name. Oh, sorry, just have to bear with me. Consult my
I can't help,
poorly
I'm afraid.
written notes. Steve Boyce, sorry. I've completely forgot. Yeah, Steve Boyce with his fantastic drive. Obviously, he won the C final, got promoted to the B final, and then came second. So he definitely moved forward.
Yeah, he's done a good job tonight, Steve Boyce, actually. He's been pretty quick. Doesn't seem to make too many mistakes either.
No, and we were just looking at the lineup for this race that's going on. I can see everyone is starting to jump in their seats. Right, we are going to ask Adam Daisy Cater how his evening went, and hopefully he will be able to respond using no foul language.
Yeah, no foul language, just an awful night. I was too, on my first race, I was too patient into the first corner. I let so many people by, and I was well aware of that. So my second race, I was completely the opposite to that, and so impatient that I ruined my own race and perhaps a couple of other people's race as well. But it wasn't my night tonight. Everyone knows that. I think it's quite everyone knows. But yeah, come back to the next round a bit cleaner and a bit better, I think.
Yeah, well, it doesn't go well for you all the time. But we do have everyone on the grid. The red lights are going on, and it's green for the start of the final race. So let's see how many cars get around the first corner.
Jack Ashton's made a reasonable start. He looks like he's going to take the line as the first corner, and someone spun in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, they might be the fastest drivers, but I think that is the worst start we have seen this evening.
That is worse than the C final start, I think.
Some of the good news is Jack Ashton's had a brilliant getaway and is in the lead. Callum Cripps in second place, Lee Connell in third, Carl Chard in fourth, Paul Day in fifth, Phil Bradpott in sixth, David Williams in seventh, Will Murphy in eighth, Nathan Burton in ninth, and Lewis Manley in 10th.
So here's Lee Connell in the bright lime green car chasing Callum Cripps. So we've got a reasonable close battle at the front, and all the fast guys are sort of there, I think. And Bradley Philpott, interestingly, in sixth, will have to make his way through.
Yeah, Jack obviously has been completely on it. He has had the edge over Callum, but Lee Connell is another very quick driver. He's done a lot of laps around this track and he has a lot of experience, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him put under quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah, the danger here is that Jack Ashton's just going to get away because he's at the front. If he runs the pace he's been running so far this evening, he could just disappear. But it'll be interesting to see if Callum and Lee can stay with him.
And it does look like Phil Bradpott is catching up, but he is being chased by David Williams and Will Murphy. Again, they're a few seconds behind him. It's going to be hard for them to close that gap, but let's keep an eye on this battle at the front.
Callum Cripps has got away from Lee Connell a bit and closed up slightly on Jack Ashton, so probably not what we were expecting, but whether he can stay in touch and good line, everyone on the same line. Oh,
no,
Ashton's
Jack!
lost it!
No, Jack!
Ashton had just lost the back of the car coming out of Druids, and he tried to gather it up, but it was too far gone, and he's fourth. So
Yeah.
Callum Cripps takes the lead.
Right, so Callum, here we go. We're going to see a replay of this. Jack will not be happy. I think that's the first mistake he's made all night.
Got on the grass. He just ran onto the grass there, and that was it. Straight to the scene of the accident.
Yeah. But I mean, he kind of got away facing forward. Yeah, it has cost him. It has dropped him down to fourth, but he is right behind Carl Chard now. But behind him, you have Paul Day and Bradley Philpott, who are going to be putting a lot of pressure on him. And we've got Jack all over the road again. Looks like he's managed to gather that back together. But he's going to be pushing hard now to try and make up for that.
Yeah, so here we are watching Jack Ashton. Oh no, now we're on Connell. Lee Connell, is he catching Callum Cripps slightly? I think he is. He's just half a second behind.
Callum, he's watched a lot of these races from the commentary box tonight.
Lee Connell, we're being told, is quicker in the last two sectors than Callum Cripps at the moment. So that's where he's gaining all his time.
Callum's very good at driving defensively, though. I think he's just going to park his car. It's probably going to frustrate Lee if Lee is that little bit quicker.
It's just that balance between how defensive do you go and sacrifice your own lap time in doing that.
See, Lee is so close on the back of Callum.
So this second half of the lap is where Lee Connell really is quick.
And here we've got Jack Ashton all over the back of Carl Chard. He's bouncing over the curb there. And you see Paul Day in the orange car just slightly behind. See if Jack can get himself back onto the podium. He's not going to be happy from that mistake from the lead.
No, he'll be on the charge, so he's going to have to line up Carl Chard, who's a pretty quick driver himself. Not easy to pass these fast guys. You've got to sort of set the move up several corners before you actually make the pass. He's really close going down Paddock Hill Bend up to Druids.
He's going to have to be careful as well, because if they lose too much time battling with each other, you've
Chard's
got
gone wide. He's on the grass, but he's on the inside for Graham Hill. He should hold this.
Jack's gone for the cutback. He might be able to get a better run out of this corner.
Nowhere to really pass now until maybe clearways, but only if Chard goes a bit wide. No, he holds a nice tight line. Can he get the drive?
You see his car struggling for grip there.
Very evenly matched.
Just jumping back up to the front. As you see Callum still under quite a lot of pressure from Lee Connell. But there's only a tenth between Carl Chard and Jack Ashton. They are side by side. Jack's got the inside line. I think you're going to see Jack come out
Yeah, he's outbraked him.
Place. But as I said, look behind you. Have you got Paul Day and Bradley Philpott? They're not guys you want behind you.
It's bunching up a bit, but the important thing is Ashton's got through, so he'll be looking to chase after the front two.
Who also are holding themselves back a little bit by battling so closely. That's Bradley Philpott getting up into 5th place past Paul Day in the background of that shot there. And David Williams is not far behind Paul Day himself, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a few of these positions shuffle themselves by the time we get to the end of the race. We've still got 9 laps to go.
Looked like a pretty clean move by Bradley Philpott up into clearways to get past Paul Day.
Oh, and there's some contact there from Lee. He's gone into the back of Callum. It looks like he's lifted off and backed off to allow Callum to retake the position.
Just a little touring car nudge.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because in those situations you really need to, if you start to affect another car's trajectory, sort of back off a little bit and let them gather it back together. Otherwise you're going to get yourself a penalty for basically forcing someone off the track. But this is Jack, Carl, Bradley and Paul Day. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th is in shot as well. That's David Williams.
Yeah, it's compressing together, this battle. But this whole train is quite a long way off the lead now. Carl Chardy's 10 seconds off the lead. Jack Ashton himself in 3rd is 5 seconds off the lead. So David Williams here trying to put a move on Paul Day.
Paul's covered the inside line. He's not letting him sneak up the inside that easily.
Back at the front, pretty much the same between Lee Connell and Callum Cripps.
So Lee Connell has got the fastest lap out of him and Callum, but Jack is even quicker. So what's Jack's 4.6, 4.7 seconds behind? I think these two guys have got it. It's going to be one of these two if they can keep it clean, but as to which one,
it's very interesting with half race distance. So Lee Connell, I think if he could get past, maybe he could pull away, but overtaking is very tricky around this short circuit.
I think you'll start to see Lee testing Callum at different parts of the track, trying to work out where he's weakest and planning his move, because it's quite clear Lee's not just going to go sailing up the inside unless Callum makes a mistake, but he's going to have to find a way past him, because he's not going to be happy with second. Just having a quick look at the championship standings, and obviously this battle is Lee Connell's in 3rd place in the championship at the moment, 53 points, and Callum Cripps is on 51 points, down in 6th place. So they're incredibly close. Looking at all the names in this race, Bradley, Jack, Lee, Callum, David Williams, all at the top end of the championship.
Yeah, we've got all the fast guys here, no doubt. These are generally the guys who get into the A final pretty consistently. Just a little bit of variation depending on the track, but they're all quick in most circumstances. And overtaking when the driver's so evenly matched, it becomes even more of a tricky thing to pull off.
So towards the back of this race, we've got Will Murphy in 8th, Lewis Manley in 9th, and Nathan Burton in 10th. Nathan's driven fantastically tonight to get into the A final. I think he had a little bit of an incident at the start, which has seen him drop off, but he's still got some good pace out there.
So Bradley Philpott here is still running 5th, just behind Carl Chard. He's pretty close to the back of Carl Chard, but so far not close enough to make a move. David Williams is now 6th, so he's got past Paul Day somewhere, I think.
Yeah, I think Brad's going to be a bit careful not to make any more contact. He's already been told off once by the stewards tonight. He probably doesn't want to go and visit them again. No matter, even if you take the racing driver's excuse book in with you, if the stewards think you've done something wrong, you're not going to get away with it.
It was extremely ambitious move.
Here's Brad's chance. If he can get a good run out here, looks like Carl was a little bit wide.
You can see the ball moving around on the power coming out of the clearaways. On board here with Bradley Philpott, so Carl Chard in front of us. Jack Ashton in front of him. And Jack Ashton, I'm surprised, is not going away from Carl Chard. The pace that Jack Ashton had earlier this evening, he seems to have lost a bit.
Carl's just parking his car to have a little look, but all that's done, look, is allow Bradley to get right on the back of him. He's going to get a bit of a better drive out of the corner. Up at the front, Callum Cripps has over a second gap to Lee, so it looks like he's really started to get the hammer down.
Carl Chard's lost it on the grass out on the exit of Graham Hill Bend.
Yeah, it's a one-way ticket for Carl there. So that's going to look. See, he's dropped down to 8th place. This is how close it is.
Dream come true for Bradley Philpott, because you know that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, that is
just
the
get
easiest overtaken the night, I think, for Brad. But let's see if Brad can start to put the pressure on Jack. Now there's that little bit of clean air. There's no car in between them.
Yeah, this is interesting. Jack Ashton just doesn't seem to have quite the pace he had earlier tonight. And already Bradley Philpott looks like he's closing. And David Williams still there in 5th place.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the gap between Callum and Lee. It seems to be stretching out a little bit, and then Lee can just claw it back. You see, it's only 0.4 of a second. Last lap round, that was a second between them. So I don't know if he backed off a little bit, and now he's getting his head back in it and going for it. I can see he's getting some encouragement from Andrew Ashton and Daisy. Hopefully no tips from Daisy based on his performance tonight.
I wouldn't be taking tips from Daisy tonight.
Yeah, he won't thank us when he watches this back.
We've just got to tell it like it is.
So this is the battle for the lead. Callum Cripps in the yellow car and Lee Connell in the lime green. Can't miss these two on a dark night, can you?
Oh, Callum Cripps is on the grass there. So he knows that Lee Connell's there. He's probably looking at his mirrors quite a lot, and it's amazing how distracting that is. He's left a gap into clearways.
Just give each other room.
He did well to hold that on the outside.
So I think Lee's going to go up the inside into paddock here.
He's very close. Willie had tried to outbrake him. Callum Cripps is very defensive. He's right on the inside, covering the line. He's gone for a lunge. Connell's up the inside, side by side. Still side by side.
You can hear the centre cheering. That was a beautiful move. Both drivers just giving each other the space. But again, there's a tiny little bit of contact, and Callum, I think, lifted out of that one, just like Lee did earlier. Slight bit of contact, and just let them gather their car back up. There's no point trying to drive through them. But this is all up to Callum now. What can he do in these last 3 laps? Can he get that one back over on Lee? And he's already having a look.
That was a great example of Lee Connell getting a run over sort of 2 or 3 corners.
Here we go. Callum's got a run now. Let's see if Callum can repay the favour to Lee. Lee is hugging that inside line.
Callum's going on the outside. He's going to cut back, and now can he get the inside up into Druids?
Oh, there he goes.
He's up the inside. He's got the line. He's outbraked him, has he?
Oh,
yes, it's a great move. And Ashton has joined them, and Philpott as well.
I'll tell you what, this is shaping up to be a fantastic final to this race. This is exactly what we wanted to see. We've got Callum Cripps, Lee Connell, Jack Ashton, Bradley Philpott, and just in the back of shot, David Williams, covered by just 3 seconds. Who's going to come out on top here, do you reckon, Mark?
It's too close to call, I'd say. It's just who makes the least mistakes.
Jack Ashton, oh,
they're all sideways, and Ashton has got at the inside of Connell. He's got the overlap. Not quite.
Lee Connell and Jack Ashton know each other. They've been racing together for years, I think. So there will be that bit of...
On to the last lap now. So, Cripps has gone wide.
No.
Connell's up the inside. Ashton's there as well.
Oh, no.
Cripps has gone in the wall. And I think Cripps turned across the front of Ashton, I think, there. But now Ashton is right behind Lee Connell.
Can Jack get this win back? He's going to want it. This is.
He was down and out earlier in this race. Last corner, coming into clearways.
He's having a look. I don't think he's going to. If he can get a good drive out, Lee's parking it right on the apex. And can Jack just get up the inside of him?
I think Connell's going to hold on.
Go on. Oh, Jack just can't do it.
He's held it. It's victory for Lee Connell. And a great second place for Jack Ashton. A great recovery drive. Third place is Bradley Philpott.
Just over David Williams, who was alongside him at the final.
A fantastic final race here at Simply Race.
Paul Day finished in 5th place. Callum finished in 6th. I think Callum came across the front of the car there.
He came across the front of Jack Ashton, I think you'll find. That's what I thought when I first saw it. He was trying to go up the inside of Lee Connell, but I don't think he realised how close that Ashton had got the overlap on him.
No. You can see them all squirming around under the brakes there.
What a fantastic race. The way that just all bunched up at the end, and some really great driving by all the guys at the front.
So that concludes all the racing for tonight here at Simply Race for the Simply Race Touring Car Championship. The next round will be from Tiba, which is a Brazilian track. It's been on a few racing simulators in the past. It's not one I've driven for quite a few years now.
I've never driven it.
I know it's got a chicane for the first corner, so that's always going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, well, if we have racing anything like we've had tonight, where it should be another cracking event here at Simply Race, we're all very much looking forward to it. So we hope you guys tuning in on the stream will be back with us then.
I've just seen Callum walking over. Let's get a word with Callum. And Callum, what happened there?
Don't talk to me. That was my fault, basically. Went defensive when I already knew he was on my inside, really, but that's not what I could do. That was completely my fault.
I think you maybe weren't aware of how close Jack Ashton was behind you. I don't think
know.
you knew.
It's hard to suss in the mirrors, and then we can see it again from a number of angles. Just to, I went way too deep into turn one. I knew that it was going to happen because it always does. Got turned around. That was completely my fault, and yeah, that was. I went into third going into Paddock Hill Bend, and it shouldn't have. I just bottled under pressure, and lads got the better of me. And
yeah, it was a fantastic exciting race.
It was. Me and Lee just kept going at the start. We had a brilliant, just race, just in general. Last few laps, I knew he was going to put the pressure on again because he was just following me for the start. And it was completely my fault, and I'm rather annoyed, to say the least. But it's happened again. Round one it happened, round two it's happened. So yeah, nothing that I can do. But there you go.
You'll be back next round though.
I will. I'll be back next round. We'll go again.
Excellent.
But, so that's just probably my championships in. Well, I was hoping to kind of finish first, but that didn't happen. So never mind. Back again next time. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Callum. Now, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap up this broadcast. We will be back. It'll probably be the second Tuesday of the month. We are doing a live stream on Wednesday coming up about 8 o'clock. That'll be the V-Box Motorsport touring cars. So the same cars as what you've seen tonight, but we'll be racing around Alton Park. Both Mark Winwood and myself will be participating in that. And then our next event after that will be the Simply Race World Championship. I'm not entirely sure where it will be coming from, but we will see you back for that. So from everyone here at Simply Race today, thank you very much, and we will see you again shortly.
Good night.